Hello and welcome back to Blades in the Dark. We are in episode 2 for the Six Towers gang. There's some links in the description here for episode 1 if you want to see what happened last time. I'll do a really brief recap, mostly for our benefit. I rewatched the video today, so I'm up to date. I'm here with Adam, Sean, and Strash, and what happened last time? I think, the way I remember it anyway, is that you guys did your first, the first on-screen anyway, turf grab as a somewhat new crew of hawkers trying to sell illegal Leviathan blood, I believe, on the streets.
I think that's what we were trying to sell.
Yep, it was indeed.
As I recall,
Yeah, bringing it to us.
yeah, Sean's character has a connect with someone on a Leviathan hunter ship that she once served on, but had a poor attempted mutiny that kind of went south, and she's presumed dead and drowned in the ink dark sea, and is using her anonymous cover right now to procure Leviathan blood for sale. So you guys found, thanks to Adam's connection at the courthouse, you found a tattoo parlor that had been used as a drug den that had recently been abandoned because the Red Sashes that ran it, got wiped out in a gang war, or at least the guys right there. The gang itself is still around. And when you got there, you found another crew of scoundrels called the Lampreys that were mucking about in the basement with some ghosts, and you came in and murdered them.
Yep.
Like you do.
For being on your turf, presumably, or because you're in a bad mood. I don't know. For whatever reason.
They were in the space we wanted.
Yeah, they had a thing, but it was our thing. They just didn't know it was our thing yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was their mistake, I guess. So yeah, you claim some turf, and we're playing a slightly newer version of the rules, and the crew sheet now has a place to keep track of your turf, what you've claimed as your own. So you guys decided to claim that as a new piece of turf you're selling product on.
Yeah. So what did we actually get exactly when we? Because I know we physically have the tattoo parlor now. Do we get anybody else with it? Like, how'd that change?
It's a gang of 4 now, and sort of like a corner.
Yeah.
Well, we did do some downtime actions at the end of the turn, and one of the things I did was I rounded up some thugs to be our bouncers, and the way it worked then, and tell me if it's changed, is that they're kind of like one-use thugs, like they'll basically stand in for one confrontation.
I love it. Like one use, like we shoot them off once and then they're done. They're like, nope, I only had one crime in me. That was the crime. You got it.
I mean, I think if we remember in the context, the kind of the leader of them is the dude who was guarding it before we got in. He was like an ex-sailor.
Yes.
Was guarding it. I basically went up to him and was like, "We beat the shit out of you once before. If you don't work for us, we're gonna beat the shit out of you again." And like him and a couple of his buddies, so it's not like they really like us at this point. I mean, I think I kicked this dude's ass twice now.
I distinctly remembered some ass kicking happening of this guy before we went into the big gunfight.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh, one eye.
Why don't we stick around for a fight, for one fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've sort of they are one use technically, but what it means is you've opened a relationship with them, you've paid them for a week or two of hanging around and being the muscle at this new place. Any significant action will cause them to want to reevaluate their relationship with you, and you can once again hire them, or maintain that connection by acquiring them as an asset again, so to speak.
Right.
But also, Adam, to go back to your question a little bit, your crew has 2 hold now instead of 0, so you need 4 hold now to start to move up to the next tier.
Mm-hmm.
And when you move up a tier, your crew scale gets bigger. You attract a bigger group of people to your crew, essentially. With each tier, your scale rises. So you're sort of halfway to that first break point where you're going to sort of be like a real gang when you hit tier 1. Right now, you're still basically just the 3 of you are the crew, and you've got some hangers-on around, but you kind of have to micromanage everything yourselves. Once you get to tier 1, you'll have like a legit, kind of set of people that can do stuff that you don't have to be directly involved in all the time.
Oh, and just from reading the AP, point of clarification, Cyclops and his group is not just a group of thugs, they're a group of fine thugs. Thank you.
That is right. You
fine thug.
I think that was the name of one of your cover albums, Adam, was Fine
Fine Thuggin.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, also my Hobbit name, Fine Thuggin.
Nice. Yeah, so they're basically sitting on the tattoo parlor and doling out the supplies. I figure it's like typical drug dealer mode, right? Like you give them only enough for a day or something, and then give them the next bit the next day. You never give them enough for them to run off with and start their own. Yeah. Oh, right, that was the devil's bargain you had, Sean. Was you chose to take whoever would come. Whoever looked toughest, including the guys and women that were going to be eyeballing the place for themselves. So you've got like surly bunch of potential future enemies that you've corralled as temporary muscle.
Right. Yeah. I think that we have is that, but they look out for themselves in the long run, and after time wonder why they weren't running the corner themselves.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
The other thing we've done a little bit of advancement. Advancement works slightly differently now, so I kind of just gave everybody a little bit of a boost. So the crew has advanced a bit, and the characters have advanced just sort of one cycle. And in doing that, the crew has acquired a cook, their own Heisenberg, or possibly Jesse. I'm not sure where her skill level is exactly yet. But a friend of Strauss's character, Oscar. Can you tell us something about your friend, the alchemist? Strauss?
Yeah, her name is Quellen. She's actually a witch, so she's got a little bit more rolling on there than just. But she specializes in particularly converting Leviathan blood into actually like viable ectoplasm and alchemical compounds. So as long as she's able to get her supply, she's actually able to cook up things like oils and essences and things like that. So that we're going to be selling a little bit more than just raw product to mystics who can then use it to refine. We're actually starting an operation where we're going to refine it and sell it to whoever wants it.
Cool.
Nice.
And I think because your crew doesn't really have a workshop of your own set up right now, then that stuff is going to happen at Quellen's. Not yet, but in the short term, that stuff will happen at Quellen's place. She has a little witchy workspace that she uses for that kind of thing. So
I really like how Oscar is all like magic, 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 and I'm like, actually, that's just drugs. Just go back to the drug part. And I don't care about all your other nerds stuff.
Still that shit. Well, we established that Leviathan blood, because people who are desperate enough to do something can just be taken raw. To what effect, we don't really know, but we just had these barrels of untreated Leviathan blood, and people really to like drink, sip, snort, shoot, whatever the hell and
yeah.
So it works. It's a product, even though it's raw. But I think there's more money in processing it. I think Oscar is onto the right. It's on to something smart here.
Yeah.
That means that down the road, particularly once we get a proper workshop, we can make easy to get one-off items that we can use ourselves, different oils and essences and things like that.
Yeah. And then we will only be one step away from having the complete circuit, which is that we need to get a Leviathan. We need to get an iron steamship of ourselves, so we can go get the blood, and we don't have to.
See, I thought the ultimate goal here was that the only thing we had to do ourselves was spend that money. I thought we would get everybody else to do all of those things for us.
Well, right.
That's what the nobility does, right? They get other people to go out on the boats and stuff.
I'm just saying.
I see how they do. I want to do it that way also.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I want my ship back.
If you want to be the captain, that's fine. I'm just going to buy a giant house and stay there. with my nice boots.
I just want to buy mystical things and fulfill my family's legacy, and to do that I need money, so...
You guys got some weird priorities.
No, I'm good. I have nobility. I know how this is supposed to work.
That's true. Josh is actually a noble.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the time we get there, maybe Jonathan will have the Leviathan hunting playset finished, so he can just move over to that.
Cool.
Okay, so before we get into deciding what your next operation is here, we kind of need to check in on some things, particularly what happens when you just serve raw Leviathan blood to every junkie that shows up for it. How does that turn out? We don't know. It's unknown, and no one really was particularly worried about finding out before the sales began.
Can I give a suggestion?
Yeah, I mean we're gonna roll to find out, but if you have,
then carry on.
If you have a particular thought, that's good too.
Yeah, I've got ideas, but I'm also inclined to just see where it goes.
Yeah, well, maybe you can interpret this role if you have thoughts, Strash. So there's a role we have access to called a fortune roll, which is kind of a catch-all role when nothing else applies. It's not a PC doing an action, or it's kind of a fallback. Used to be called the Die of Fate, which is from Burning Wheel. This is similar, but
I was gonna say it used to be called the Die of Fate, but then Luke's lawyers served you a cease and desist.
Yeah, Luke. He's so litigious. He was all over me. Yeah. So what we do is, in this case, we roll based on a trait. So we can pick any trait we want to make a judgment here. Like I could just decide as the GM, but I'm choosing to disclaim that responsibility right now and let the dice decide what happens with this really low quality semi-magical demon blood, or possibly very magical demon blood substance. So I think what we should do is roll based on the quality of the drug and see how that goes.
Okay.
Its quality is currently 0.
I love rolling no dice.
Yeah, isn't that the best?
It's the best kind.
How do we know that its quality is 0? I'm just curious.
Because it's unrefined demon blood pulled right out of a Leviathan that people are drinking. Yeah.
It's not so much that its efficacy is 0. It's
no.
That you shouldn't be putting it in your body, you idiots.
Yeah.
But as a drug, it is certainly a novel thing.
Yeah, I mean, you could take gasoline and inject it into your veins. It's not a good idea, but it'll still make a car go.
It will do something when you stick
something will happen to you.
Well, you will be in horrific pain, and then you will die.
Chemistry is great.
Yeah, I think we're operating at the level of paint huffing, roughly right now.
Right.
All right. So, who rolls the 2 dice and takes the lowest?
Whoever's feeling lucky, I guess. I mean, technically, I can, but if one of you want to do it and take responsibility, that's fine too.
Responsibility for that.
Ross is already on it.
All right.
All right. So we got a 2.
All right. That is a poor outcome.
Who is shocked here?
Yeah, you don't say a poor outcome.
Yeah, I know, right? Strange how that works. So this is a thing that I might do as a GM between sessions when I'm, figuring out what's coming up in the next session, which faction dominates over another, what things simmering behind the scenes, how do they go well or poorly, et cetera, et cetera. I figured we'd do this one on screen for fun. So yeah, before we get into what the crew's up to tonight, who makes the deliveries of the daily product to the tattoo parlor? Do you guys do that all together, or is it just one of you that's kind of taking?
What's the supply chain here? It comes from the docks, right? And that's where RC's kind of gets it to us.
It used to go from the docks to Scurlock Manor, but now the tattoo parlor is at the docks. Right. So maybe there's a shorter chain now, or
because it gets prepared by your witch friend, right, Scurlock? So it's gonna go from the docks to her, and then
it hasn't gone to the witch yet. That hasn't happened yet.
I don't think we've.
Okay, we haven't started doing it that way yet. Okay.
No, not yet.
probably if this roll went as poorly as I think it did, and we had some people have very nasty side effects.
Yeah, you're about to start.
We have the witch because we don't want a bad rep for our stuff, and we want to be able to sell it. So.
The other thing is just to, show our business not being quite as efficient as it should be yet. If we are doling this out in parcels, we probably have to still have the big delivery that happens infrequently sent to Scurlock Manor, and then be carrying it.
Oh, that's a good point.
A day ration at a time, because
Scurlock warehouse.
Scurlock, right? Because I'm not gonna get Leviathan blood every single day from the sky. It's gonna come in batches. I'm searching the AP report for his name. I can't find it. Does anybody remember?
Harrington is his name.
Harrington, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Harrington is our supply. Yeah, so Harrington's gonna bring it by at most like once a week.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And less frequently if he's actually out. Like once they're out hunting, they could be out for a while. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to do kind of an inefficient up to Scurlock in a little riverboat, carried down in batches. And RC is down with carrying the goods. I don't have a problem doing the lifting.
Yeah, so you guys are you're in a tough spot a little bit. You don't have a boathouse or a carriage house. You don't have your own boats yet or your own wagons or anything. Harrington delivers, and you squirrel it away in the wine cellar at Scurlock Manor, and then RC just has to put it in something or other to take it down to the tattoo parlor, like maybe a little pony keg type thing, or a wine skin, or.
I was thinking of pony keg. That's sort of how I described when we first walked in, that she had the keg on her shoulder.
Yeah.
That was our first batch. So by now maybe she's got a little cart or a little wheelbarrow or something like that.
Yeah, you can scrounge her wheelbarrow. Yeah, you're rough, but you're not that rough.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little wheelbarrow with a little keg inside it, and rolling it to work. Okay,
so you it's been like a week, let's say, and you check in maybe every day or every other day, and the count's right, so to speak, and no one's given him a lot of trouble yet. There's been no reprisals, no attention from the Bluecoats. I think, have you decided, is it basically closed down, the tattoo parlor is closed and boarded up and dark, and people are just getting served out of the alley? You're not trying to set up a cover yet or anything. The parlor isn't running as a functional.
I think that should be our next. That's probably our next gig, is to make this.
Yeah, that feels.
Yeah, we need to find an artist, because otherwise this place is just going to be Cantor's horrible prison tattoos. What's a stick and poke? Yeah.
Well, and also
shaped like a blob.
A lot of the tattoo materials got scurried away by Oscar because they happen to be relevant to the Scurlock family. So we got
a couple things. Yeah. Okay, so you arrive with the wheelbarrow. You go down that awful narrow little slimy alleyway, and
yeah, I make sure that the heavies push everybody out of the way before I come along. Last thing I want to do is get mobbed by a bunch of junkies.
Cool. Yeah, it's never a crowd, but there's always a couple hangers around, and when people see you at the wheelbarrow now, they shuffle out of doorways and stuff because they know that the new shipment is in, and that doesn't speak too highly of your security, but whatever, it's good for business, I guess. So you go in, and this time you catch Cyclops and one of his people doing something.
Yeah.
So remember last time, there's the main tattoo parlor room, and then there's a door and stairs that go down to the basement where all the murders happened, right?
Yeah.
That door is open, and Cyclops and one of his buddies, who is also kind of mutilated and scarred from Leviathan hunting days. He's got acid burns down one side of his face. He has a big long black beard. They're carrying a body, it looks like, down the stairs. They don't see you come in. and they carry this body down the stairs, and you kind of hear them like huh, like toss it, and it doesn't like wetly smack onto stone flooring down there. It just sort of muffled like clothes sound from down below, and they come walking back up, talking about what happened last night, and somebody like got their leg broken in one of the pit fights or something, and
right.
Then they stop. Cyclops stops at the top of the stairs and gives you this totally blank look and like shuts the door behind him.
Nice. So yeah, with the sunlight, the little bit of sunlight that's coming in from the outside that penetrates in, and RC standing in the light. I think it's maybe hard to make out her features, but once they like step up a little closer, she just has this like, she has the look of, I know what you did, so you're gonna tell me, otherwise it's gonna be worse. Which is, when you go inspect someone's bunk and you know they're holding contraband in it, it's fess it up or get punished for not, or the punishment is gonna be worse for not doing it. So she just has this hard look, and she's staring dead at Cyclops.
You're about to get punished. You can choose how bad it is right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you've impressed upon this guy just how much of a badass you are a couple times now.
A couple times, yeah.
He's definitely the type to hold a grudge and think about how to settle that score, but today once again is not that day. He gives you a look for a second, and then drops and stares at the floor, and he's like, "It's not our fault."
How many are down there?
When is it ever actually not their fault when they say that? Like, really?
Right.
Like, no, somebody else says, "Oh well."
I think this time it actually may not be.
I mean, okay, I'll be realistic. I think I've put 2 and 2 together that a lot of people are dying from this shit, that we're feeding them and he's throwing them in the basement.
Oh my god, that's amazing. So we're just living on a pile of dead bodies here with our business.
No.
That's nice.
No. I take the bodies.
Well,
okay, I see. So they're a byproduct of the whole process. The circle of life.
How many are down there?
He opens the door and just like turns around and walks down, and he lights a little greasy oil lantern that's hanging on the wall there. All the electric lights down there got blown out before when Oscar did his business, but he stands there and he's just totally like nonchalant. He's seen all kinds of horrific shit on the seas. So have you, I guess. So he just stands there blankly and sort of casts the lantern back and forth, and it's kind of hard to tell. There's a pile. So less than a dozen, and they're kind of in the middle of the room. There's the scorch marks all over the wall and blood stains everywhere from the battle.
Right.
Or there's not like blood pooling on the floor or anything.
So they didn't bleed out.
No, it's still kind of damp down here, and
Tell me it's chemicals.
I pull like.
Sorry, Sean. You hear some sort of moaning and movement in the pile, and he sees your face and he's like, "Yeah, they do that." And you can see as the light pans across, an arm sticking out of some tattered, from a robe with holes in it and stuff, and the flesh of the arm is sort of sloughing off.
Necrotized. Underneath
it are these glistening black scales, like serpent scales, snake skin. So that's what's going on there in the body pile.
Nice.
What do you want to do?
How old is the oldest? I turn to Cyclops and I say, you leave this problem here, and tomorrow you're gonna have a half dozen ghosts trying to ride your soul, trying to ride your body like a meat sack. How long has the oldest one been here?
Actually, I was gonna say that he's like too thick, but he totally isn't. He gives you this really precise like nautical answer. Like it's been like this many sunrises and this many bells since
watches, whatever. Yeah.
the watch of the owl. He gives you this really precise reading down to the minute, basically. It's been they put the first one in here a couple days after you opened, so it's been just under a week, roughly.
Okay. And we all know that after 3 days, a dead body, a ghost rises out of it.
Yeah.
I'm not dead.
Right. I know. Yet. Right.
I mean, technically, we're just kind of living on like a Serpent Man factory down here, but later.
Yeah. He takes a long pause after he gives you the time, and he's like, "It doesn't happen to everybody."
I kind of like look outside, like there's still customers, and I'm like, this is a problem. Tonight, tonight found up 2 other guys, and we're gonna haul these out of here. I'll be back.
He stands there and like watches you go up the stairs and just.
We don't shit where we work, where we eat.
All right.
And I leave it. Like I'm not gonna do. It's fine, right? This is operational. I mean, this sucks, but.
Do you leave the new shipment with him?
Yeah.
All right.
Business, but I will come back to report my findings once people are back in.
All right.
Are folks in Scurlock Manor?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oscar, we've got a whisper problem.
My favorite kind of problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad. Glad you feel that way. We've got some not quite corpses in the basement. Our product has been not quite killing them. And they've been there for not quite a week. So we're going to get them out of there. And I need to know what we're going to do with them. And I describe like the snake, you know. I describe the details.
It's not snake, it's demon.
Fine.
He says very calmly.
You say potato, I say potato. Like.
I like that RC's like, fine.
Yes, and rolling along.
Depends on how thoroughly they're changed. I will need to take a look at them.
Fine, but not in the parlor. We need to get them out of there, and we need to do something about our product not quite killing people, because they're not buying, and it's going to get around, and then more people are not going to be buying.
I think I know someone. She's a friend. She can probably help us out with the product.
Is she dead?
No, she.
So I'm sitting nearby in like a big like overstuffed like kind of half rotten couch with like 3 legs probably.
Yeah.
And I like lean back over the couch to look at you and I'm like, how expensive is this friendship of yours?
Not very. In terms of the fact that she could probably work for us and simply take a cut out of the product that's already going to be selling higher if she refines it.
Yeah, see, I don't like that word, cut. Can we pay her in, like, beads and crow feathers or whatever you people like?
Like...
Sounds like we got a bunch of dead people. Let's just give her some bones. That's how this works.
Do you remember after our last score how much cash Oscar blew on beads and bird feathers? That shit isn't cheap. I'd seen remember some pretty fucking ornate beads and bird feathers last time.
This is a horseshit economy.
Oscar leans in and he says, Quellen's actually a friend, and she's also a witch. So unless you want to be waking up screaming from the feeling of spiders and other things crawling inside your skin, I recommend we don't shortchange her.
Hey man, you don't know what I like.
Then perhaps you can ply her with other forms of payment, but the negotiations have to be solid.
Yeah, if we don't get someone to clean this up, then we're not going to have a business. So
I'll take care of it, RC.
Okay. Cantor, you want to come with me tonight to take care of the bodies?
No, I meant I'll take care of the bodies.
Ah.
But I will give you a letter of introduction to Quellin. I might be able to get the bodies out on their own. We'll see.
Right. RC and I just look at each other like, gross. Fine, whatever your beer.
Fine, if you've got a way to do this. The boys will be down there. My fine thugs will be down there to help carry if needed.
If needed.
Can't we just sell the bodies to like there's got to be other insane scientist types who are gonna like want these half mutated people. Like, I mean, they're not going anywhere. Like, you can have some, but I'm sure. How many did you say there were, RC?
Remind me, John. What did you say? It was under a dozen or under half a dozen?
Under a dozen.
Under a dozen. Yeah.
And that's a legit score for hawkers, right? Like selling contraband. That's a score right there.
Yeah. All we got is go down there with a knife and kill the ones that aren't dead yet.
Hang on, we have a broker. Lydra might know someone, and if she doesn't, Flint, my spirit trafficker friend, will totally know what to do with you.
Like, this is what I'm talking about.
Or Old Man Scurlock.
Oh boy.
All we gotta do is just turn this setback into an opportunity.
Yeah, until that opportunity comes and literally fucking bites us in the ass. Like Demon Fang bites us in the ass. I don't disagree with your enterprising nature, Cantor, but I do think that you might be cutting off your nose to spite your face. If we tried and sell these...
I think you underestimate how much I'm willing to spite my face, RC.
That coat. Fucking that coat.
So, I mean, I think that if we have a problem, we should turn this problem into an opportunity and try to make some money off of these people who might as well be dead at this point, and get rid of the evidence at the same time. Instead of having to pay people to take them to the dump for us.
Hey, is this a one-time deal?
I mean, if the product gets better and we have less bodies to deal with, sure, yeah. Let's call it like a 1.5 time deal. Trial and error, right?
Yeah, mostly error. Fine. All right. Either way, we got to get those bodies out of there. That's not good for business.
So, I have a question for you, John. If I reach out to my contacts, do I know somebody that wants to buy these? Because I know all sorts of weird, creepy people.
Yeah. I think you've already named 2 people that would want them. We can probably think... in your list, there might be a 3rd or 4th person that would want them. Potentially. So yeah, I think it's just a question of who do you want to reach out to, or do you want to reach out to all of them and see who's the highest bidder, or how do you want to? I mean, this is getting into score territory for hawkers, right? You're gonna find a new customer for a new product and arrange a sale of said product covertly. That's what you do, right?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I think Adam's right. I think the bodies are essentially like a new, potentially one-time or potentially ongoing source of commerce for you.
Yeah.
If you want to go that direction, yeah.
Yeah. If RC not having great experiences with Leviathans and Leviathans getting into people's heads and those people turning to psychotic fucking nightmares isn't really keen on this as a long-term plan, but. I mean, they're broken eggs now. So
we're gonna end up with 2 things happening, right? We're gonna get the junkies they can't cut it, right? And these ones end up being the like bodies that we can sell, and then we're gonna end up with hyper addicted super junkies that we can just sell more stuff to, right?
Yeah.
Seems like a
So
good fiscal plan to me.
I guess who I'm going to reach out to is Scurlock and Satara first, because those are the people I'm closest to. And then we'll work our way down the list. If they don't want them or don't have a good... If Satara's like, hey, would you like a pie slice of Satara's favorite? Then sold.
Yeah, so is what happens next, Oscar says, I know someone who might want these, and then leaves and does whatever he does next.
Yeah.
And then comes back and says, "Great, I have a buyer." Is that cool with Cantor and RC? You're like, "Good luck." bye, do whatever crazy.
Right. I mean, we're not gonna get in the middle of that the finding a buyer. Cantor seems like he might want to get in the middle of the negotiating the specifics, but yeah.
Yeah. This is literally find the buyer.
Problem.
Yeah. Okay, so pre negotiated deal. This is just reach out to a buyer. Oscar says, I know somebody. You don't need to know the details. You don't particularly care. And Oscar does. Okay, great. So, Oscar, is it Satara first? Is it Lord Scurlock? Okay, it's Satara first. Okay.
Although, actually, it might actually be Scurlock first, because if we're talking about a score, he actually has money, whereas Satara usually pays in arcane favors. And I know that while I would love that, Cantor is probably not going to accept that as payment, but I do want to see him negotiate it.
That would be like me selling the drugs for hand jobs, dude. I don't want to pay that way. We need real money.
Why are you guys so mad? I got so many hand jobs.
Yeah, you have no idea. I feel great.
The best hands in the city.
Yeah.
So I think yeah. So basically, I think about going to meet Satara, and I have this there's this moment where Oscar thinks to himself about how Cantor would react if he actually met her, wherever the meeting place would be. But then he's like, no, I actually like these guys. We're not gonna mess up the relationship within the gang. So let me see if I can find somebody that's gonna pay money for him first. So yeah, I'll reach out to my ancestor here.
Nice. So this is a really good character moment for Oscar here. You have a Satara's favor clock right there on your sheet, and you've decided, no, I care what my fellow crew members think. I still care about their preferences and values so far. So that's very interesting. That's cool to learn about Oscar. I couldn't have guessed that ahead of time. So that's great. How do you contact Lord Scurlock? Does he live in the manor somewhere, or is he elsewhere right now?
No, actually, he abandoned the manor a while ago. And I think this is one of those things where, Oscar, you know how most people have to leave little notes in little places, and then somebody comes and visits them later. He does that, but he does that in a very different way. He essentially goes down into the basement, and then does one of those step through the old wine cellar tricks or whatever, and ends up in wherever he does most of his arcane ritualing. He moves moves the one anchor where his one teacher is and everything, clears the space, and then sits down, and there's that moment where the camera zooms in and nothing's happening, and then his eyes snap open and they've got that blackness with the starry void from the ocean in it, and he just essentially whispers a message and then closes his eyes and she's like, oh, that's done. He goes back.
Nice.
And then I think usually he'll show up at some point, or deliver a meeting place or wherever it is he's hanging out these days. I don't know.
Cool. Yeah, so that goes off fine. You do your psychic dead drop, and you're able to tell Darcy and Cantor if you want to, I sent them a message or whatever, and it's gonna happen. If there's nothing pressing, we can just go right to that. If there's something someone needs to do, we can.
I want to take one test. I want to go down to the actual location where the bodies are.
Oh, okay.
And, I'm gonna mention, because this is a new ability I picked up. This is my advance. I've gotten compel. And I can compel ghosts and demons, and so I want to see if these people are far enough gone that I can actually use that on them.
Yeah, cool. First, there are some things that you may miss on the way there, that a person who is careful may notice. So this is a strange case in Blades in the Dark, because normally the GM would ask you for a perception test or something like that. Because the players kind of drive their actions. What I can say is that things are different in and around the tattoo parlor. If you care to, you get a weird, just a moment of when you're going in the doorway, you're like, something was off. If you care about that,
Of course I care.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you have other stuff to do, so maybe it's not that pressing. But if you care, you can tell me how you want to assess how things just feel weird to you when you go down the little narrow alleyway there. You get a weird vibe. What do you want to do about that?
If it's weird, that's right up my alley. I think I would probably just, clink the shadows, put my mask on, and then just take my time to actually study the area and see what's setting me off.
Okay. So yeah, I think you can do that with, you can discern by thinking about it and using your senses and being logical and rational, or you can attune by going into some weird trance and
Yeah, you could discern it like a weird person or like a normal person.
It's up to you. Either approach kind of makes sense.
This is barely a question to Strash here.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, fact of the matter, discern. The other thing I'm really good at is noticing things. I think, but I mean, it's the same amount of dice either way. But the correct answer is, of course, I'm going to use my weird powers.
So doy, right?
All right. Okay, cool. So I didn't say it, but it's controlled. And you have an option now. We haven't talked about bonus dice. They're slightly different. You can push yourself for 2 stress to get a bonus die. You can get assistance from a teammate, which you don't have. And you can do a devil's bargain, which we are skipping right now for expediency's sake. So that is a 5, yes. So a 5 controlled means you do it, but there's a cost. And the controlled costs are different from other costs. They're softer costs. So you can take extra time. You can have a partial effect. You're not going to get all the information you want here. Or doing this puts you in a risky position. You lose your window of control here, and you end up being in some potential trouble because you're doing this other thing. So it's up to you. You can spend more time doing it, which will be into the evening. You kind of leave and then are gone for the rest of the evening doing this. Or partial information, or a risk. It's up to you.
I love the image of Cantor and Arcee looking at each other like, what the fuck happened? Why has Oscar been gone so long?
Go. And in this particular case, just because of the way things are set up, I think that'll mean if you choose time, Lord Scurlock will arrive while you're gone, which is a thing.
That's a thing that could happen.
I think I'm actually going to go with risk.
Okay. Cool. So you attune, and the weirdness that you're sensing, first of all, you get all kinds of weird vibes, particularly right down here by the docks. There's all kinds of death and lingering echoes of tortured spirits, and it's one of the oldest parts of town. So you sort of steel yourself and attune, and you get bombarded by all this stuff, and you start doing the whisper thing of sifting through the radioactive spectrum here of ghosts and spirits and things. You're definitely getting this crazy hot spot just off to your left down the stairs to the site of the recent murders and body disintegrations and current pile of whatever that is down there.
And when you say it like that, it sounds like such a horrible situation. It's not so bad.
Yeah, I'm really underselling it.
Yeah, come on.
But the thing you're able to sort of follow the thread of what was really bugging you. And there's I guess in whisper mode here, you're seeing echoes of Arcee. It's this is the in the video game version, you can see through, everything becomes ghostly, and bodies are these blue luminescent silhouettes, and there's the living and the dead. Just and the cast.
Take off the One Ring, you'll be fine.
Yeah, the Shadow of Mordor vision, right? But you see Arcee, you see these echoes of her boarding a ship and going out to sea as a younger woman, and returning again, and meeting Arcee. Sorry, Sean. Was Arcee married to a man or a woman?
Arcee was married to a man.
A man. Okay.
Yeah. She still is, technically.
Yeah, she still is. That's true. A man meeting her on the docks. You've had this experience before, I assume. Like you've become close to someone and you've seen these like echoes of their life occasionally, mostly around trauma, right? And this traumatic thing. You keep seeing like, oh, it was right there. Like this is where she would always leave and go out to sea for months on end, and then you sense this happens a few times in the echoes, and you sense it's just the man waiting, and RC isn't there, and then it's him again as time has gone on, alone and alone and alone and alone, and the loneliness of this is really crushing if you just feel it. I think your spirit mask kind of protects you from a lot of that direct thing, but as you're really getting a sense for it, something is happening with this echo, something very interesting. So you may take the following risk to follow this thread here. You realize this last echo is the guy. He's actually there. He's like right around the corner. And he's not alone. He's with a group of people, and they're sort of not prowling around. They're sort of slowly walking around. You hear their voices echoing, and the other ghosts, I should say souls, around them are all echoing with RC's name. Like they're asking about her, they're talking about her. It's all happening right there, right around the corner. So you can get drawn into that if you want to. That could be your risk, but we'll see how that turns out if you want to do that, or you can just cut it off here.
I'm gonna keep it simple. I want to find out what's going on there, but essentially I'm gonna take my time. I'm not gonna act too risky. I'm basically just want to get kind of a bead on this, because even though I've kind of picked up on his fingerprint and sort of like looked at him via attune, so I kind of know who he is, almost the way people use eyes. I'm using kind of spirits to see who this is.
Yeah.
What I'm really looking for now is actually with my eyeballs. I'm looking for identifying marks. Is he looking for RC because he's a character from her past, or is he carrying gang colors of another group, and this is like either his in, or somehow they're encroaching on our turf?
I like how when you said that you seemed like almost a little like disappointed. Like, I'm actually going to use my eyes.
Yeah.
Like a fucking lamp.
Lucky bits.
I am an addict.
Yeah, that's right. That's your vice. It's weird, right? Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so are you going to like creep up to the corner and like surreptitiously observe them, basically?
Yeah, I put away my mask, obviously, and kind of tamp down the creep factor just a little bit. So I'm just going to be a creepy kid peering for a little bit and then vanish back into the alleyway and finish my business here. So
I'm sorry, Strauss, were you telling me you were changing your choice? Like, you're not going risky, you're going extra time, you're just going to take your time with this and like...
well, can I? Like,
yeah, that's fine.
Like, is this like, well, if you're going to take this time, we're back on the Scurlock arriving, and I'm just going to be like...
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, if you take your time with it and be careful, Scurlock will arrive while you're gone.
Nah, screw that. I'm totally going to take the risk.
That would be tons of fun. Lord Scurlock show up at the canter and
I heard you guys, but he's really scary.
I know, that's why it'll be a ton of fun. Go for it. It'll be great. Nothing could go wrong.
No, of course, yeah.
No, I'm thinking of him. If I'm supposed to like pull my weight in the gang, I want to be there and kind of like do my part. So I'm gonna take the risk.
Okay. Okay. So you're still discerning, I believe. So you're gonna roll a risky move on discern. You may stress for a die, or I can offer you a devil's bargain if you wish.
I'll hear the bargain. I don't know about accepting it yet.
If anyone else has one, that's cool too. Let's see. Do I have a good one? I don't know if I have a good one.
I have one. I don't know if it has quite enough oomph, but given Oscar's vision into things so far, whatever he perceives might only be the spirit side of things. So the physical manifestation, the spirit discernment, even though you're like looking with your eyeballs, you might not be able to quite turn off the spirit side, and what you see is the spirit side, which may not actually be the same as the as the physical manifestation. Only because I get the sense that like something supernatural is happening that may be detached from whatever physically is happening. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's you're saying you get the bonus die because you don't let it go. You continue to look deeper into the spirit world and kind of lose control here because it is your vice. You're sort of like
I think it's probably likely that in most cases I would say yes, but in this case I'm going to say no.
Okay, cool.
Because I'm specifically trying to gather. I got the spirit equation. I need to see what the non-spirit equation is here.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me toss it out there.
Risky.
Yep. Haha.
Oof. Close.
That's okay.
So you're going to do it to your full effect, but with a cost, again. And this time that cost is a little worse. There's harm. Harm isn't really on the table here right now.
You just walk into a tree because you're looking through spirit.
You fall into the sea.
Looking at your cell phone, just right off the cliff.
A complication occurs, or you end up in a desperate position. This is going down the rabbit hole, right? So the complication, and so what you can do when there's harm or a complication, it's like it used to be. You can roll to resist that and take some stress and avoid it if it goes that way, or you can push your luck. But what's happening is the risk, the cost. I'm going to say it's a complication, and the complication is alertness on the part. So what you see is young. How old would he be? Do you think? Like, how old is RC? I can't remember, Sean.
I think RC's in her late 30s.
Okay.
She has a husband and children.
Yeah.
So
he's roughly the same age,
sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think he's a little younger. I think he's. She likes them somewhat young. So, yeah, I would say like he's
married into his noble family, right? Your background is labor. Like his family was the noble family, Keel, yes. And you married into the Keel family. Is that accurate? Okay. So you see a man in his late 20s, with stylish, noble garb, sort of a silken velvet clothing and a smart jacket, neatly trimmed mustache, and a walking cane, and he's accompanied by 4 similarly attired gentlemen in suits and bowler hats, and as soon as you see them, you can tell they're like his bodyguards, basically. You've seen nobles strolling around the city with their friends. You can see the weapons under their clothes, and
so
they're all nicely dressed, but one of them has like a prison tattoo coming up over his collar, and
yeah, like what's the deal with the bodyguards? Are they supposed to be like subtle, like they could be their friends, but they all have to tend to be tough, or do you like get bodyguards that are like big showy bravos that are like, look at me, it's me and my 17 armed men, look how important I am.
It depends on like who you are, like
or how fancy you want to be.
Yeah. I think if you can get away with it, you have your guys wearing armor and walking around with guns in their hand and stuff. But
cool.
I don't know if Keel is at that stage. He's.
I'm just having this moment where I'm watching these guys walk in, and I think to myself, man, Cantor would totally roll them.
Oh yeah, man, I would rob the whole Keel family. I'd pull off the biggest Keel haul you ever saw.
Oh, you're fine.
I'm sorry. I'll just go.
Yeah, just delete. Dream.
All right. So what's the danger that comes to pass?
Yeah. So the complication here would be an alert level on the part of this. So it's obvious that Keel and his guys are looking for RC. They're patrolling around looking. They catch a glimpse of you, like watching them. I don't think they're in a position to like corner you or anything like that. It's not that dire a situation yet. But I have a clock here for their sort of like overall alert level for finding RC and where she might be and what to look for and what weirdness is going on. So I'll raise that level. Essentially, they'll have a reason to come back here and keep looking. You're going to tip something by by peering at them suspiciously around a corner, they're gonna.
I think that's totally fine, and I told them to get RC in on this because I'm not 100% sure how she wants me to deal with them, and I don't want to make that call for her.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna vanish back down the alleyway and check my bodies and GTFO.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you do not resist that. I'm gonna film you.
Yeah, I actually let it happen because, in my opinion, if he shows up with thugs again, we'll have a plan and know how to deal with him.
Yeah, so if we were playing together, I'd put this on the table here. Here it is. Keel alert. It's 4. There's 2 filled. One from the events of last time and one from this time.
I believe this is Julian, by the way.
Julian Keel. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So Sean, well, I'll ask you that later. You're about to have a conversation about it, possibly. So yeah, you duck into the shop and you see through the slats like two of the gentlemen with tattoos and pistols in their coats, like come to a stop around the corner, like they just dashed over there, and like a couple of the junkies kind of give them the stink eye, and they look around and they realize like, oh, there's like 100 places for someone to go in this alley, so they just kind of go, and walk off. And you see them talking, and they're like whispering to each other and pointing at the buildings, and you can tell that they're kind of corroborating some kind of story. It must be around here somewhere, is kind of what's the impression you're getting.
Oh, these guys really want you.
Yeah, I like to think that like 2 streets down, there's some beat up dude in an alley.
Yeah,
that's the guy, I'm sure. Yeah.
One of the fine thugs.
Information about RC, like this, like they had to have gotten a clue somehow, like, you know, somebody they roughed up to.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So you check on the bodies.
Yeah, I just want to see how far progressed they are. If I can make them get up and move on their own accord, or if we're actually gonna have to drag them halfway across the city.
Someone's in there getting their dose when you go in. Cyclops is gone. Like, he doesn't work 24 hours a day. He went off or whatever. But there's some other of the thugs there dealing with the money and taking the few copper pennies and giving them. I think they're unless you gave them specific instructions otherwise, they've gotten one of the tattoo guns working, and they just fill up the reservoir and then like needle somebody in some rough veinish area of their body to deliver the dose. So there's no, they don't even take it away and do it. They like get injected right on site and then they stumble off.
Right. Or they don't, and then they.
Or they don't. Yeah. Right.
So I imagine there's probably a lot of junkies like just hanging out inside the tattoo parlor, riding their high, right?
Yeah, there are a few. There aren't any. There's some tables and some overturned.
I mean, this is like a clear and obvious place for us to expand our business, right? Like, if we can get a nearby building and turn it into a place to move these junkies while they're all fucked up, that'll be way better than just having them in the store all the time.
Yeah, sure. Well, also,
that'll be way better.
Yeah. Get them out of the business. Get them over there. If they die, we can sneak them away more easily. They don't die in front of each other. It's fine.
Right, but also this is just like asking for blue coats to like catch us. I mean, there's no. Yeah.
We have a plan. Expand the business.
Yeah. So they don't really interact with you, Oscar. When you come through, everyone is like, oh, wow, I think I need to check down over here in this dusty corner for a thing, maybe. And, like, everyone has somewhere else to look and something else to be interested in. Instead of talking to the whisper, they're just like, doody-doo.
And I think that Oscar totally doesn't even recognize that that's a thing. He just, like, steps over one of the junkies and keeps walking forward.
Yeah.
And, like, towards the basement, and as they're like looking aside, he doesn't even glance at them. He's like,
and
where he's supposed to be.
Kind of like the last time you were here, you like sort of just like silently like slip downstairs, but this time you're not like trying to be stealthy. Everyone is just like, nope, don't want to talk to you. You might ask me to volunteer for something. So, so you go down there and you smell the telltale. Leviathan blood. RC smelled it too, but is very used to it. I think because you use it in rituals and things, for you it's like a thing that you uncork and use, and it has this very distinct. This particular one anyway has a very distinctive sort of sea salt aroma, and also the sort of tinge of blood. So yeah, so it's powerful in here. You can sense the body's moving around. It's dark unless you light the lantern, but you don't really need to see, I guess.
No, I'm not looking for things that light is going to show me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I'm essentially going to move to I pop open my backpack and like my mask crawls out and sort of like spider limbs onto my face, and as it slips into place, I'm literally just going to like reach out and see if I can connect with one of these.
Yeah. You want to try out your new power, huh?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, so you're attuning. It's this is a controlled situation. I think, unless
I think it is.
You guys think different. That's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't seem like we've gotten any impression that these things are ready to jump up and attack right now.
Yeah.
So, or
just
do anything for that matter.
A quick rules clarification, because it happened last time when I was watching the recording. We were doing XP for desperate rolls, and Strash was like, "Man, I tried to do some desperate stuff, and it just wasn't enough." So we can short circuit that. Like, you can always say, like, "I want to make a desperate roll here. Like, what do I have to do? Tell me what I got to do." It's a little apocalypse worldy that way.
It feels like a lot of that stuff comes from fictional positioning too, where like just by nature of Cantor's behavior and the way he acts, like a lot of stuff is just desperate. Where I'm like, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. I shoot him, and then I do this other thing, and then I run out of the room.
Yeah.
It's like Oscar seems to have a better idea of what the hell's going on, so it's like unless you're actively sabotaging yourself. Yeah.
Oscar's definitely been more in his element.
All right, so if we want to grind XP, we just need to switch. I'll go do the creepy dead stuff. You go shoot some guys.
Right. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
I just wanted to point out, you're allowed to do it the other way. You're allowed to do the, this is what I'm trying to roll, and then we'll talk about how you can get there. And same thing with controlled. If you're in a desperate situation, you're like, man, I want to manage this a different way. Is there another approach I can take that isn't that crazy? Then we can find, see if there is one, and there may not be. But that's an option. So
that's cool.
I feel like, this is very controlled. It's just a test, right? You're just sort of testing it.
I'm not gonna push. I'm not gonna strain myself. I think I'm just gonna give it a try and see if it works.
I have an easy and obvious devil's bargain, so I'll
bring it on.
You will create a. You'll have to connect to them to control them. So you'll essentially like leave your whisper mark on them in a magical way. It won't be this light test. Like, you'll have to actually like bond with one of them and leave your mark on them to control them. But that'll give you a bonus die if you want to push it.
Yes, please.
All right, cool.
I like it.
No.
Oh, what is that?
Oh, it's dice.
I thought you were good at this game, Strash.
No, I was gonna take Savant, but no, I had to take Compel.
You need to be good at role-playing games like Adam.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Adam is really good. He knows how to roll dice well.
It's cool.
So foreign controlled, it's the same problems as before. It can take extra time, and you can miss out on Scurlock's arrival. You can only get a partial effect here, and I'll tell you what that is. Or once again, you can put yourself in a risky position to essentially try again.
You know what? Well, here's an interesting question. Does the devil bargain carry forward, or do I need to make a new one?
It does. It carries forward.
In which case, risky it is.
All right. So you make your mark, you bond with one of them in the pile, and you get that sense, like when you communicate with Satara, basically at that very low level. There's something demonic in there for sure. You can sense it. You start to reach out to it, and you sense what you get with Satara. With Satara, it's familiar and safe, and nothing bad has ever happened. But you get that same feeling of like standing on a precipice over the sea and starting to lean out farther and farther with your feet planted. And when you do that with Satara, like, it always is just this slow, gentle thing, and you feel like you could just fall asleep and drift into the sea. But this one is like this precipitous, like, yawning sensation opening up beneath your feet. And you're like, fuck it, I'll go for it. Sure.
I can deal with this. I know I can make it back. This is what all my training's been for.
So you do have the option to push here if you want for the fourth die, or you can just take your 3.
No, you know what it is? It's like I'm looking into this yawning chasm, like this precipice over a sea, and as I'm trying to connect to this demonic essence, it's almost like looking into some unholy squid eye of a leviathan. So you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna take my 2 stress and go for 4 dice here.
Not a bad idea.
Cool. Because I want to be able to control these crazy half-demon people. Alright, I mark my stresses. I'll make my rolls. Go. Yeah!
Hey.
That's what I was looking for.
There it is. Nice. So let's just say one word about your effect here. You have a fine spirit mask, do you not?
I do.
All right, that gives you a quality bonus here. Scale isn't an issue. You're not trying to control a bunch of them. You don't have any particular potency, and neither do they in this situation yet. So that's all kind of equal. So you have an edge on effect here. So that pushes you, in this case, to a great effect.
Nice.
Well, that's the win here.
So what's the question for great effect?
What extra benefit manifests?
Oh, right. Yeah, what extra benefit manifests? Good question. So I'll give you the baseline, then we can say extra benefits. What's your command?
That's good. So I think that there's like some preliminary ones like awaken.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think essentially what I'm trying to tell it is come with me because this is the merchandise, right?
So you kind of get one sort of. I think it says simple instruction is the language.
Can I say follow and guard?
Let me see. I forgot how I wrote this.
God, it's like issuing commands to spirits in Shadowrun. All right, well, how much force is it, and how much do I spend on this thing?
Not like that. It doesn't take 2 hours.
Yes.
I can't find. Oh, here we go. To obey a direct instruction you give it is what it says. Okay, so yes. So since you got greater effect, it will essentially. Let's just say it'll obey 2 direct instructions. So if the first one is come with me, that's a direct instruction it can follow. And then you can just keep the second one in your back pocket if you need it.
Kill.
Follow. Yeah, I think I will because once we get there, I might just be like, and now obey him. So.
Sure.
But yeah, I think once we actually get upstairs, like there's gonna just like Oscar like dives down and then he comes back up out of the like shadows of the basement. And as he steps out, he's kind of looking at all of the like bodies on the floor, and then he just picks one that seems like really out of it and like takes his coat, and then this thing comes up with like skin sloughing off, and he just like puts some like cloth on it to like hide all of the like at least as much of the disfigurement as he can, and he goes, "Good enough."
Yeah, there's like a hood on the coat you can pull up, and the sleeves are too long, and they're hunched. It's hard to tell if they were a man or a woman. They're mostly scaled now. Their eyes are these like black shark eyes, and it just sort of pulls itself out of the pile, stumbles up. You put the coat on it, and it just mutely follows you. It's walking in this sort of shambling, it's dragging one of its feet. You know, its boot is squishing with every other step. But yeah, it'll follow you all the way back to Scurlock Manor.
Oscar finally has a friend.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's good. Now let's make a score.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
my parents always told me to make new friends.
All right, I'm good.
Awesome.
I don't know whether this is worth an action or a roll, but I think that RC should really have some legit reasons for being concerned about bringing Leviathan infected creatures into Duskwall that aren't moral, like that are pragmatic. Because
Like, how about you're starting the zombie apocalypse by accident?
right, like clearly moral objections, whether she has them or not, are not going to be heard by either Cantor or Oscar. But like practical, like yeah, you're going to start the zombie apocalypse. Seem like they would be taken credence. So while Oscar's out, I think RC wants to express her dissent for this plan, at least in terms of a long-term version of this plan. But I'd like to back that up with something that's material rather than just I've got a bad feeling about this.
Sure, sure.
I
Are
can't.
you trying to sort of are you pushing to like a sway type thing with Cantor? Or are you trying to like bring him onto your side of the argument? Or is it just is it different?
Well, I could see it going two ways. One is just sort of a information gathering thing of does RC know from her one dot in cipher like what bad shit Leviathans do because she's seen it on boats, and I can just sort of introduce that into the fiction as a threat and something we know about at least, or if that's sort of doesn't have the oomph, yeah. So I'd like to just sort of know a potential bad outcome, even if it's not the definitive one, so that we can be savvy to it.
Totally. Yeah, there's no particular obstacle, so it's just what you know with your one dot, right? You're not. I mean, like if I tell you something that isn't sufficient, then you might want to know more or something. But sorry, am I echoing? I think I am.
A little bit. It's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna put my headphones on. That might be the problem.
Okay.
So what are we, RC? What are we doing while Creep Junior over here is like wandering around?
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to do was express like why this is a bad plan, so that Cantor, I don't know, so that we have the opportunity to decide: are we going to go through with this, and if so, are we going to make a point to only do it once? I love the idea of addicts and criminals saying, "Yeah, just this one time," but
Yeah. Right.
Well, so oh no, that's not helping. I'm still echoing. So, oh man, it's hard to talk with that.
Do you want? Maybe it's one of us. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Here, I'll mute myself. See if that's
Okay.
me.
Is it? That might be it.
I think it was Sean.
Okay.
Thanks,
So
Sean.
I can tell you what you know. You know that plagues have ravaged the city all through its history. They're not common exactly, but they do happen. There are mundane sicknesses. Areas get quarantined. Through the history of the city, occasionally, like they've been quarantined, and the bluecoats have gone in and like burned down buildings, and bad shit's happened to people in various parts of town over the years. But there are stories of this kind of thing, of like demonic corruption type stuff that you could totally reference in real history, not just. There's all kinds of stuff in Oscar's crazy occult books about this, but you could even reference like a few things from your own lifetime, some famous event of the past, a situation where a Leviathan hunter ship came back corrupted, like it crashed into the docks and its demon-infested crew fled into the city, and it took the spirit wardens like 2 years to hunt them all down. And yeah, those are things that have happened. Now, those tales, particularly, I mean, they're probably in the newspapers too. Those tales are generally more sensational. Like they're more like the Werewolf of London or something. Like they're monsters, these demonic things. What you saw to you probably seemed more like the kind of taint and sickness that you've seen on Leviathan ships, where a sailor will get sick from being exposed to a Leviathan in some way, or I mean, that's sort of what happened to you, I guess, but yours was more in the psychic realm.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what happened to my captain.
Yeah, but you've definitely, I mean, you've probably seen sailors that had their arm amputated or something because it was turning into a tentacle or something like that.
Right.
And this is similar. So
Well,
yeah, you could definitely cite like one or two really like legit big problems that have happened in the city because of this kind of thing in the past.
Sure. Right. Okay. So perfect. Thank you. So this may actually then turn into like a sway attempt. But when they're waiting, like RC says, I mean, to Cantor, like you've heard all the stories of demons invading the city, just like we've all heard the stories of ghosts like at the gates, and we know that we know that all half of those are made up. But what I have seen on ships is people losing arms, people losing eyes that turned black and rotted out, people's fingernails growing in both directions to the point where they burst out of the back of their knuckles, bleeding, blackened. It's ugly, and we don't want to be near it. Like, you don't want to touch this shit, and I don't either. If we work around this, fuck being rich, you're gonna worry about having teeth.
Yeah, but if I ain't got money, I can't pay for a dentist. I ain't gonna have any teeth anyway. So, besides, RC, you can't moralize this shit. People have to be held responsible for their own actions. I'm not gonna get high on this garbage, and if these junkies get fucked up on it, that's their problem.
I'm just saying we should be burning these bodies.
You want the government to come down and tell you what you can and can't do? No, that's not what their job is. It's not my job neither. It's not yours. These people want to get fucked up and die, that's fine. And when you die, we all know you forfeit your shit. Your body, that can belong to who knows? That belongs to anybody. That's our property, right? You leave your wallet behind in my house. That's my wallet now. So look. So what if I want to sell this wallet to somebody else who has a good use for it? Somebody wants to, put their money in there. A picture of their wife.
So what if that wallet is poisoned and you're going to be the next one dropping dead? I'm not talking about morality here.
I'm not going to touch the bodies. I hope you are not going to touch them either. We pay some other sucker to pick them up for us.
Is that some other sucker like Oscar who's going down to like fetch one right now?
You said it, not me. You said it.
I'm just saying, this is not the business we want to be in. This is not good for your health. And also,
neither is being a poor ass sucker. I don't want to die of starvation. So we got something to sell. Let's fucking sell that stuff.
I will remember to not take my wallet out of my coat when I'm in your house.
Don't leave your shit in my house.
You mean my coat? Your wallet's in my coat now.
That's right.
Yeah. Now it's my wallet.
I'm gonna drink your milkshake, RC.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well.
So here's how this works. If you want to do something with the system here, Adam can tell us if he can be swayed from this point or not. If he can, you can try to sway him. If he can't, if he's sticking to his guns and isn't open to that kind of manipulation, then he can't, and you got to do something else to convince him. But we don't know that. Only Adam knows that where Cantor is on this. If the conversation's closed, then you'd have to escalate to something else to change his mind. But
sure.
So that's how it works.
Cool.
So I think like right now it's all just bullshit, right? We're just sitting around bullshitting about like, oh, the world's gonna end, could go bad, right? But let's have this conversation again after something goes bad. Then,
I was gonna say, with the evidence provided, it doesn't feel like RC has the leverage to convince.
Well, I already know you're like a crazy sea captain person anyway, right? So you're like, oh, I had sex with a mermaid one time. Woo!
Right. No, I like it. I like that. This is the preliminary conversation. Yeah. The fucking "I told you so."
Oh yeah, no, you can fucking have that. I told you so. If I had one fucking gold doubloon for every "I told you so," I would not be in this business. But yeah, no, right? That's the currency here for sure. They're like
awesome. Yep. No, that sounds good to me. So in the meantime, we should be at least sketching out. I think RC and Cantor are doing a lot of the mundane logistics of making our shop be like not something that the next blue coat who has half a fucking brain is going to shut down. So I think we're talking about setting up the tattoo parlor, talking about expanding spaces. Like that's the kind of practical shit that we just know needs to happen and needs to happen soon.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, cool.
Do you want us to do like a gather information to maneuver to figure out how to sort of move forward on those steps? Because there's a couple different things, and I think they're all important. Or is this just sort of like our bullshit in time? Because that's fine too. We can just be sort of talking, planning.
I think honestly, I think you can move past gather information. I think with enough about the docks and the area around the parlor, some of your options. It's more a matter of securing or like supplying a place. And then maybe securing it with future tactics and procedures. So like,
oh my god, you know what we gotta do? We gotta refine the process such that when you come into the shop, you can get like a regular tattoo or you can get the special tattoo. And the special tattoo.
I already have that as a research project.
The special tattoo is the drugs.
I like where you're going with that. I like where you're going with that, Cantor.
And it like seeps into your skin over time, and you're high for days. It doesn't kill you quite so bad.
Well, if we could get it topical, so they stop ramming it in people's veins and like have it last a little while, that should be good shit.
Yeah, Oscar actually does have that as a research project already. So.
Yeah, nice.
That's on the table.
So we need to.
But I think like the logistics are like. Yeah.
Set the place up with equipment and shit. Whether that means repairing the stuff that's already there or whatever, and then like hiring some people who can at least stand in for tattoo artists.
Right. Yeah. So the like acquiring a different space would be supply, and that it'll be a short-term thing until you can kind of like permanently purchase it, but it would at least be a first step.
Yeah.
So someone can like try to do that with supply if you have a way of communicating to do that, and then secure is like the other kind of action for let's set it up in a way that isn't so obvious, that has some kind of you at least got to go into the second room to get the thing, and it's not in the very front of the house kind of stuff. Educate the thugs on how to process this stuff and all that.
Yeah, let me handle that part. I know that I've already got Cyclops, and I think I can clean it up so that we don't look so obvious. Would Secure also handle like putting the front business there, the actual actually getting a tattoo artist there?
That would be more like a supply action, I think.
Okay, so supply would cover the nearby location and the talent, and Secure is like preventing it from.
Mechanically, what we're doing is you guys are sort of extending your downtime into like another phase.
Yeah.
Which you can spend a coin to do that. You guys have 3 coin in the bank, I think. So you can just drop one of those and be like, yeah, we're gonna drop this coin. We're gonna reach out to people that we know in the area and fix our current situation, at least for the next sort of phase. Like, we haven't actually purchased a new building or anything like that, but we're gonna move them out of their current shitty situation and bad security into something that makes more sense.
I'm down spending a coin for that, guys.
Yeah, I am too.
Okay, cool. So that'll drop you to 2, and then someone's going to roll to acquire the asset of like a better sort of storefront, or maybe fix up the one you've got. Either way, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And someone's going to secure the space with some new procedures for the thugs to not be so lax on how you run things.
Yeah.
Who's doing the supply part?
I don't think anybody. I think we're all equally terrible at it. So.
We're all equally terrible at it. But...
I have a different approach since I have a different skill that might be applicable. The skill I have is consort, which is knowing the right people in the right places. So considering that a lot of mystical stuff does actually involve like either special tattoos or ritual tattoos, weird symbols and shit all over you, I might actually be able to know some people, whether they know some people or they themselves are willing to do it. I actually have a gotten good sword, so I could totally make that happen.
You totally could. Like, you could talk to somebody who has a space, right? Instead of buying one, you could be like, hey, can we use your warehouse nearby, or can we use your whatever? yeah, that's another way to do it.
What do you guys think?
Nice.
Well,
Yeah.
we don't actually need more space, do we? We just need to fix the one we already have.
Yeah, I think we need to fix the. I think we need to.
Well, we do kind of need more space because remember what you said. This is actually straight from Cantor's mouth, right? We want to get the junkies the hell out of there and maybe like into an adjacent space so that it's not obvious that our business half and our supply/delivery half are the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So they're getting high somewhere besides where the drugs are.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like we could get. I think that's a secondary plan. Right now, the place where they go when they're high is the gutter. Get the fuck out. Like, we're not operating a hotel for junkies. Like, we can just be like, here's drugs. Now go away.
Right.
So
You
this
don't
is
live
more of
here.
it's more of a security issue. It's
This
like,
is securing. Yeah, this is securing
Yeah.
the place we have right now.
Yeah.
For sure.
and then later, Strauss, maybe you can talk to a friend about getting a new space.
No worries, I was just trying to help out. I'm good.
No, that's good. That's really good. That's great.
Well, once we figure out the deal, we could, and I know RC's gonna want to have words with me about this, but if we make the place where people hang out to be a place that like somebody who wants the bodies like runs, we can just say like you babysit these drug addicts, and when they die, you just keep the dead ones, and that's your part, that's your cut, right? Bodies rolling through the door.
You know, there's a major conflict of interest there, right? Like, how many people do you think are gonna walk out of that place, right?
Hey,
if their currency
you know how I
is
resolve
get the
conflicts
bodies,
of interest, man? You know how I fix that problem? And you don't do your job. Kablow.
Yeah, for some reason, deaths went up to 100%.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
I agree.
Every-
They did go up to
everybody-
100%.
All right.
We'll get to all that shit later. We'll get
All
to
right.
that.
So,
I think the two of you, if you want to, you can, while Oscar's away, you write up a new security plan to give to the thugs. Like, no, you guys are doing it all wrong. I was down there earlier today. Here's the new procedure. Here's what you're going to follow. From now on, this is how we want you to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can totally do that. So you can do secure, and this can be a team thing if you want, because I don't think anyone's particularly good at it.
I have a dot in secure, but I still think it should be a team thing. I think this is Cantor and RC like figuring out the logistics here. I mean, I think this is no matter what, even if they suck at it, they're doing it together.
Yeah, well, and in that case, it'll give you at least a couple chances to get a good result. So it sounds like you're going to take the lead on this, Sean and RC. Do you have any secure, Adam?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. All right. Cool. So by default, you both roll your secure dice, and since it's a team thing, Adam, you can spend a stress to give RC a bonus die.
Okay.
And in addition, you can both stress yourselves out for 2 stress to get a personal die. So if you want to really raise your total dice pool here, you can really burn a lot of stress on this.
So two stress apiece would get us how many dice? 3 and 2?
Yeah. So the teamwork thing would just be 1 to you, and that would give RC a second die.
Yeah.
And then personally on your own, you can decide to burn 2 stress for a bonus die.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I think
I could spend 3 and roll 2 dice. Or is RC the only one rolling?
no,
You're both gonna roll,
Okay,
and
yeah.
pick the best of your.
So yeah, if I spend 3, I'm rolling 2 dice, and Sean for RC is rolling 3 dice. If Sean also spends 2, then you're rolling. So we can get 5 dice total.
Yeah.
Between the 2 of us.
Well, I'm gonna be rolling 1 for my secure. I'm gonna be rolling 1 for my background because I'm working with labor. These are my peeps. And if you no,
I think background's changed it.
Yeah, that changed. That rule's gone.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll be rolling 1 for secure. I'll be rolling 2 if you. No, that's cool. I'm rolling 2 if you give me the helping die, and then I'm rolling 3 if I spent the stress as well. I'll do that. Sure. This is important.
I can give you a devil's bargain too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. To help that within the fiction, like I think the form of this is you said Cyclops wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
That's because we're meeting with Cyclops to be like this shit isn't happening again.
He
I'm not
comes into
walking.
the house and you dress him down and
And they're like I'm not walking in there and hearing fuckers moaning in the background. That's bad for business. And so this is like this is us telling him the fucking way shit's gonna go down from here, and you know. So I can see this being stressful to RC because she knows her hold on Cyclops is kind of tenuous.
So I think the devil's bargain here is if you give him, if you're like, listen, we need, like, I need your help, Cyclops. Like, you gotta help us out here. If you put him in charge and give him some responsibility, that I'll give you a bonus die to secure here. Like, if you can puff him up a little bit and you know, put him in charge and be like, this is now your job. This whole security thing, Cyclops, it's your job.
Yeah.
That means giving him an excuse to be in charge and throw his weight around with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But that will help you get through to him if you want to take that as a devil's bargain.
Yeah, I'm happy to call him head of security.
All right.
What do you well, I guess it's individual. So I mean, as long as that doesn't.
I'm not gonna get in the way of you and your new boyfriend. Whatever.
Yeah, so you're the lead here, so you get the devil's bargain, Sean. So it's just
okay. Right. So I'm rolling 1 for my secure, 1 for help, 1 for pushing.
Yeah,
and
I'll take the stress so you can.
So you have 4, Sean, and you have 3, Adam. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll take all 3 stress because why not?
Wow. Okay, that's looking good so far. And this is a control situation. You're just like figuring out the best way to do it, and you're going to give Cyclops.
Right. And the goal here specifically is to make this not a situation where the blue coats could just like literally look up and be like, "Hey, there's a drug operation going on right there.
Right.
Let's shut it the fuck down," because that's what it is right now.
Exactly. So mechanically removing it from they find your drug lab to they start looking for a drug lab in the area. It moves the consequences over to the.
It's a long way between those two.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm rolling 2, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I rolled so much balls there.
Yeah, I got a 3 and a 4. Look at all those.
Oh my god! Whoa! What the fuck? I
was
failed
a lot
at
more.
role-playing.
Yeah. So
stress for.
It's like you lay it all out to Cyclops, and like he's nodding along the whole way. He's like, yeah. And you get to the end, you're like, okay, you're gonna be in charge now, and he's like, right. So they can just do the drugs in the parlor, though, right? And it's like that situation where you're like, no, this is what we're trying to tell you. They can't do that. You have to start over at the beginning, you know, and you're just like, oh, God.
Right. I think we escalate this to risky with the chance that he's gonna like lose his shit and feel like we're patronizing him or that we're otherwise just that we're taxing him too much in some way or another.
Yeah. Great. That's great.
So that makes sense. Like I don't think either RC or Cantor would be okay with this. Like no, that's wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in this case actually Cantor might be a little more forgiving than RC would be because I'm used to dealing with dumbass motherfuckers all day. Right. So I'm like, no, let me explain this to you again, Cyclops. And I'd explain it to him just like straight up from the beginning. And if he still doesn't get it, I'd be like, no, you don't. Who's the next in line? Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Bring me another guy that's not so stupid. But like I'm a little the first time you don't get it, that's fine because like I'm smart. That's why we're
RC's used to naval discipline. And
yeah, right. For you, it's all like, ma'am, yes, ma'am. But for me, it's like a lot of whining and like I expect everyone to half-ass everything. Like, that's just how it goes.
Right. So RC comes up with some like naval analogy of like, is this how you would fucking, is this how you would fucking, batten down the hatches like with some half-ass fucking knot when you know that when the winds come up it's gonna blow them all open. Like she uses some like analogy like this is the lazy ass motherfucking way to do it, and you know what the fuck happens when you do that.
Ain't nobody know what a mizzenmast is, RC. So you can rein that shit in.
And like all your interactions with Cyclops, there's this officer thing that kicks in where you're like, you know how many lashes you would get for this there's always this like sudden turn to some sort of threat or something.
I'm quite happy to involve threats in this. I think that's why it should get risky.
Yeah,
which is an implication of basically should we get caught, it's your ass that's going down, and it's me that's gonna do it. Like I'm gonna come down there and fucking break you. So that's another reason why I can see this going risky. So, do we roll same pool, or do we re-spend to get the extra dice? I assume we have to.
Yeah, you get to keep your devil's bargain. If you like that, that's fine. That rides. But the stress stress dice go away. So you're back down to 1 apiece, or two for you, Sean.
All right. Stress is fun. I like it.
You gonna do it again?
Yeah, I'm spending 2. I can't spend 1 to give Adam 1, so I'm spending 2. Spending 2 to roll 3 dice.
And are you sticking to your 1 die, Adam?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Right. Try this shit again.
Yeah, come on.
But hold on.
Boom. Yeah. What up?
Oh, there it is.
Nice.
What I love is that like RC rolls like 2-2-2.
Yeah. Well, right. Like so I was supposed to clear before I rolled, but it doesn't matter. You can see that what I have is shit.
You can tell that Cantor was clutch.
Cantor was totally clutch. Oh,
I'm the best.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess let's inject this back in here. How do you? RC threatens and uses nautical analogies. How do you seal the deal, Cantor?
I think the turning point is the moment of like, well, if something goes wrong, like it's gonna be me coming down on you, and I'm kind of like, whoa. Hold the phone. If something goes wrong and he gets locked up or whatever, that's not like maybe we're having this conversation elsewhere. I'm like, if something goes wrong, he gets locked up. We do not want him thinking you're the thing coming for him, right? We want him to stay loyal. Hey, you want him to give you up in jail because then the cops will come for you. This guy, he's what's the word? Ablative. He can blow away. We don't need him, but we also don't need him aiming them at us. So you got to take a softer touch with these people. And then I think I go back to him and I'm like, look, and I just good cop him to RC's like, I'm gonna beat the living shit out of you, and I'm like, no, dude, we're gonna cut you in. I'm giving you an opportunity here. You're moving up, right? You don't want to be on the corner forever. I'm putting you in charge because I trust your ass. So, you gotta give back. You gotta be good about this. And like, I know it's complicated. I know you can get it in your head because you're a smart man. That's why we're moving you up. So, and then I like slowly re-explain, like, this is how we're doing it. This is why, like, you're gonna get paid better because you're gonna be in charge of more shit. And like, definitely also say like, yeah, and that means you're gonna have people below you that you can boss around. That's gonna feel good for you. And just reestablish the hierarchy and his new exciting place in it.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, he's nodding the whole time, like he's really hearing what you're saying. Like, just like he was before, and he's silent for a second, and then he looks at RC and he's like, yeah, we can't have him doing the drugs in the parlor. The Bluecoats could just spot us. We gotta be smart. We gotta be smart.
And like, I'm about to say like, finally, you fucking idiot, and then I look at Cantor and I see him nodding, and I'm just like, that's it. You got it, Cyclops. That's it. That's the problem. Thank you.
He's like, you don't need to worry about the rest of the boys. If they don't understand this, they're going to have to answer to me.
So, nice. So since Cyclops is part of a fine group of thugs, does that mean that does that bump up the effect in this case? Effect modifiers?
So security, yeah.
Unless scale or potency drops it down.
Right. So when your security is tested, since they're on board and you've got them as your tool here, then your security will effectively be 1 quality level higher because when it comes to actually doing it, once they understand what you want, they are actually good at it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
So I'll make a note of that. Security system has been upgraded as much as it can in the current location.
Yeah. It's not a wicked crime fortress or anything.
No.
Right. Well, it's also not like impenetrable getting ripped off or anything. It's specifically we're angling this at not being obvious.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely really like the stealth drug distribution weird tattoo thing. That should be the very next thing that we work on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. We just need an artist. We need someone to be doing it.
Yeah.
So it sounds like everyone kind of gets back together after your various side jobs here and meets Lord Scurlock to talk about selling half-demon people out of your basement. Yeah?
Like you do.
Sure. Yeah.
Out of a basement. It doesn't have to be our basement.
Yeah.
How do you guys react when I show up with this thing covered in cloth and everything? I'm curious.
How do you react to us pausing a moment before we react? Are you like, hey, look how weird I am. Look, I have a weird zombie friend. Are you freaked out? Or are you just like, walk in? Because there's going to be, depending on how your behavior is, it's going to be two different.
The smell of sea and blood precedes their arrival by like a good 2 minutes.
Okay.
And
right.
Like, what's that? Did someone open a window? What's going on? And then the door to the sitting room, the musty, dilapidated sitting room, opens up, and Oscar and the shambling thing come in.
I think he's coming in a little matter-of-factly, but you guys are canny. This is like a new trick that he learned from dealing with that spirit from the first game, and is just he's pleased as punch with himself that this worked, and he knows that he took some crazy risks and
yeah. Then I definitely do not acknowledge it in any way, shape, or form. I'm just like totally keeping it quiet. Also, I can't complain about the smell or anything because it's your house, right?
Right.
So.
No, but RC can. RC doesn't care about the smell, but she cares about the discussion she just fucking had with Cantor, and she's like, "Don't fucking bring that thing in here. You want your own little Leviathan corpse pet. That's fine. You do whatever you want, but don't bring it in here. I don't want it touching anything we're touching."
Oscar quirks one eyebrow and sort of looks at the dude and then looks back and says, "If you're selling a horse, you gotta show the horse."
Put the fucking horse in the stables, man. Stick that thing in the basement outside somewhere. Just don't bring it in where we are. You got plenty of rooms in here. Somewhere that we're not. Come on.
The floor starts to rumble, and you hear it's like the garage door is opening downstairs.
Yeah, right. That's where I want this thing. Right.
This cranking portcullis, something you've never really seen before. You've been down there. There's an old canal waterway and shit and whatever. There's a bunch of rusty gates and things, and one of them is creaking open and shaking the floor. It's some big heavy thing, and it goes on for a while, it's drawing up out of the depths of the canal. You hear all of these noises of chains, dust filters down out of the ceiling, a book falls out of the bookcase, and Lord Scurlock is arriving in the waterway. Do you usually go down and meet, does he generally stay below in the catacombs and stuff, Strauss, or does he come up into the house usually when you meet him?
I think this time probably he'll come up into the house because it's understood that we're going to be discussing some business, but
yeah,
he just stops by for visits. Actually, the correct answer is whatever the fuck he damn well pleases.
Yeah, that's a fair answer.
Because I think he's a much higher category than we are.
Yeah, he's 3 or 4, I forget.
You make him sound like he's a hurricane. He's a Category 4 NPC. Batting down the fucking hatches.
8.6 on the Richter scale.
Yeah, let's look him up on the guide to Duskwall's badasses. He is level 3, all by himself.
It's cool. He can meet us up here.
Totally cool.
All right.
So yeah, the portcullis cranks and clangs for a while, and then stops, and then you hear the stone door dragging down below across the floor, and then you don't hear any footsteps or anything. You hear the wooden door open from, there's a servant's entrance bookcase doorway in a little alcove just outside the sitting room you're in. You hear it scrape open, and the doors to the sitting room are open. Let's see. I don't think the electric lights are working at Scurlock Manor right now. I think you guys are using lamps.
Don't say it like that. Lamps are fine.
Yeah. It's like an adventure.
Mood lighting.
Using lamps, you fucking trash.
Fucking adventurers.
So do the lamps? So when he shows up, do the lamps like the fire like change color or like go out or like?
They go out. Yeah. He's old school scary weirdo.
Yeah, like I'm imagining like Bram Stoker's Dracula, like he's floating up the stairs and like.
Oh, totally. Yeah. The lamps go out and the fireplace out in the hall is still lit. So he's like backlit, silhouetted. He like the protagonist of Bloodborne like walks into the doorway. Basically, he's got this long coat with this big high collar, this tricorn hat pulled low down over his eyes. He has the like Vlad mustache coming down, icy pale skin, this like silk cravat tied up around his throat. He looks young and he's tall and strong and lithe and all kinds of trouble. And he doesn't like stand there like being cool. He just he kind of just breezes in. He doesn't make a sound when he walks. And he walks directly at Cantor because you're like sitting. You sit in his chair usually.
Yeah, I probably as he approaches, I don't stand up. I don't take my. I probably like flinch a little, but I don't take my boots off the table. But I do like take my hat off and just kind of like hold it. That's the only evidence that I'm like even a little nervous.
So do you stay in the chair?
Yeah.
Okay. So he, without breaking stride, he takes this unnaturally long kind of step past you, and you see his hands like rest on the chair over, just like right here, like right by your
on the chair back.
Yeah. And it's silent in the room. It's really dark. You can feel his breath. It's icy cold, like coming down on the back of your neck, Cantor.
This guy's getting awfully personal.
Yeah. He's not like leaning down on you or anything. It's just happening.
Is he looking past me at somebody else? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's looking past you at Oscar.
I will also look at Oscar like, what the fuck? Talk to this guy. Get him off of me. Come on. Yeah. So I'm just looking like this is your deal, man.
So I guess there's this like moment, and then you hear the as like Oscar lights just a single match and very calmly takes the time to like light a single lamp and sort of like in the middle of the table and actually extends it a bit because he's like fiddling with the wick, you know, just like and then he sort of turns around and it's one of the few times, like usually when he's like elbow deep in a corpse or something is the only time you see him grin, and he just goes, "Cousin!"
Nice. So Scurlock has his hat under his arm now. His hair's slicked back, and he looks about your age, more or less. Like you're very young looking, right, Oscar? You look to be teens, maybe, or something.
Early teens, yeah, maybe like 12 to 14ish range.
All right, he doesn't look quite as young. I take that back. He looks like he's about 20. Just very fine, smooth features, except for the Vlad mustache. And he's smiling, but he it's not reaching his eyes. You know, he no longer has that kind of human feeling, I guess. But he appreciates this weird gesture, and he's sort of got this cocked grin, and he nods at you, and then goes back to a blank stare, like, get on with it.
Oh, I pointed to demon, or half demon, the thing that I commanded.
I was going to say, yeah, you're going to have to be more specific, because there may be more than one person to whom that now applies. I point to the demon.
Yeah, I think I definitely say we have brought the goods as advertised. And then I pointed to look at the rest of the gang like, you guys are the money people, talk with the money.
Yeah, RC takes her hand off of her pistol, which it had been like resting on since the moment he got here. Like, it was just sitting on, like, just not sure if she should draw.
Nice.
And says, and like takes like a fireplace poker, and pushes the little cloth that you'd put over his head off of the thing. Like, she doesn't want to touch it, but she pulls it off and says,
the top of his forehead slides off with the hood.
Yeah.
Wetly hits the carpet, and you see the glistening black snake skin underneath it, and it's one black shark eye like glistens in the lamplight.
This is
when that happens, if it's like quiet enough in the room, probably everyone can hear me swallow a mouthful of my own vomit. It's just like I'm good.
This is pure Leviathan blood infused from the Nightbreaker, from Leviathan blood taken from the Nightbreaker, which sails the Orazan Sea north of Duskwall.
Yeah, he raises his hand when you say Nightbreaker. Actually, he like interrupts you with it. I mean, you maybe don't stop, but he raises his hand, and he says the captain's name. I forget his name now, Sean. Shit.
Hold on. Sorry, it's been too.
I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't.
Yeah, I thought it was Harrington, but you were right that was the quartermaster. It was Harrington that's been bringing me the.
I mean, I could give him a new name if we don't like.
Sure, we might as well rename.
Yeah, go ahead and give him a name because the name
The name he says is Strangford.
Good name.
Yeah, that is a good name.
Captain Strangford. It's a noble name, like most of the captains and higher for the Leviathan Hunters. They're a well-known noble house, old Duskwall money. Yeah, when you say the name of the ship, he raises his hand and he says Strangford.
I pause momentarily and nod. So, yeah, that's correct.
He says, "You are Keel," and he kind of like seems disappointed.
Judgmental ass vampire.
What of it?
He fell prey to the Leviathan song.
He did.
But
Still
you did
is. Sorry, what did you say?
He says, "But you did not."
I didn't. Not much.
So he's like taken the measure of the room here, and he sees where the weak link is. So he just hits you with it. He's like, what do you think I should do with these creatures, R.C. Keel?
This is hard because she's looking at him, and then she sort of looks down at Cantor because he's right beneath.
Yeah, basically, like, just a little meta here. Like, you want to go into business with this guy. He knows. He walks in, he looks at you, and he knows you're a problem.
Yeah.
If he goes into business with you guys, you don't want to do this, and so he
I don't think lying to this guy is of use. So I say, I think you should destroy them and obliterate this menace from our city.
So if I'm picking up this little exchange, like I notice that RC's fucking souring the deal.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna turn around, put my hat back on as I'm standing, and be like, "Look." I point at RC. I'm like, "That's the sound of a woman with an empty bank account. She's gonna say all kind of crazy shit. She doesn't understand. We're making a business arrangement here. She thinks that moralizing is gonna get her fed, but you know, and I know that's not what this shit's about. Now these things," and I gesture to the sloughing entity, and I say, "These things, they're not of any good to anybody. They're not going to buy any more of our product. They're not going to be productive members of society neither, so somebody better do something with them." And
can his left shoulder just sort of disappear? Like just sort of like all of a sudden his neck kind of goes like there's no more shoulder there, just kind of like under the can't see what's happening, but under the clothes it just sort of.
It's I imagine it makes sounds like wet snow falling off a roof, like
yeah.
like heavy thumping on the floor.
Yeah.
You're like, and obviously, so when that happens, I like look back and I'm like, obviously it's a time-sensitive deal, but it's not like it's the only. Obviously, this is not the only one we got. There's more. There's gonna keep being more, at least for the time being. So, what you gonna do with them? That's not my business. You buy them, they're yours. You want an army of the dead? Fuck it, go to town. You want to experiment on them? I don't care. But we got them. You got money. Let's make a deal.
Archie's looking at like she hears Cantor, but she's not looking away from Scurlock.
How do you feel about desperate rolls, Adam?
I feel great about them.
I thought you might.
I think it's totally a desperate roll.
I love it. Yeah.
I think they're flipping cookies.
I'm daring. I love risks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, how are you gonna win him over here? What's your action of choice? What are you actually doing?
Sway, I guess.
That's what I'm hearing. I mean,
Yeah.
there's always command, right?
Yeah, I'm not telling him what to do, but I'm swaying him from a position of authority. Like I know how to make deals. I know how this is done, and I'm not lying to him. There's no deception going on there. So.
No. I feel like what the sway is about. You tell me. But what I'm feeling is like, don't worry about RC. Like you've come in here and targeted her because you think she's the weak link, but you don't need to worry about that. We're just going to sell you bodies, and we don't care what you do with them. That's not an issue here. Like,
yeah, we do not care. And also, like, I think at the beginning the implication there was like, once she gets some money in her pocket, these feelings are just going to evaporate into the very expensive wind.
Yeah. And so this is a really bold move. Like, he's a sharp, eagle-eyed mofo.
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't really know RC, right? Like, he has to assume that you know her better than he does.
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing is like my position here isn't like to try to like trick or like get around him. My position is to be on his team and be like, yeah, she's so small a problem to you that she's my problem.
Yeah.
She's not your problem, man. I'm your problem if there's going to be one. So let's work this out, right? So if he deals with me and ignores her, I will deal with her. Everything will be fine.
Yeah, no, I feel like you've got leverage for that. That's something that he couldn't possibly like in the future over time. You know, maybe he'll know you better than he does now. But this is the kind of thing that you can actually make an impression on him with. So yeah, I mean, it's desperate in the sense that you're just going for it. You don't really know what he wants. You don't really know his.
Yeah, I'm not taking a lot of time. Like I assume he's just like some creepy wizard, and I don't know anything about creepy wizard shit. And my creepy wizard has backed out of this conversation, so I gotta step up. Right?
Totally. Yep. Makes sense to me.
Okay. Cool.
So desperate sway. I have a devil's bargain. I don't know if anyone else has one, but
actually, I have something different. I think there's this like moment where Cantor's all like puffing up and trying to talk, and there's just like a brief split-second moment where like I lock eyes with Scurlock, and after he says his piece, I just nod once, like, yes, this is the way it is.
Ah, you're gonna throw in some
stress and give him a die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in.
Nice. That's great. So yeah, and I mean that's totally legit. Like you guys do have a relationship that we don't quite know yet, but it's a real thing. So yeah, the devil's bargain. I think the first one I thought of was kind of what you're saying, but to make it concrete, like you're responsible for RC. Like if you're stepping up and going, look, you don't need to worry about this. I'll worry about it. If she screws things up or if things go sour in the future, it's your fault.
Yeah, I feel like that's implied, or that's how Cantor operates.
Great.
Yeah.
If you actually legitimately like say like whatever her shit's on me, I'll give you a devil's bargain die for that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Whether it's something I like actively say, because I don't know. I feel like it would be good. It would be good if it's understood between me and him, but it doesn't have to be understood between me and RC right now. Like I don't want RC to be like, hold the fucking phone, you're not in charge. I'd like actually to just go over RC's head on this one.
I feel like that's what's happening, and a little bit of an open question is how much Sean RC is kind of watching this happen, and how much she's like a part of what's going on here, and that's up to you if you want to be involved or interfere or sit back or however RC's
Yeah.
focus had shifted basically to Cantor, and it's up to you now how you react.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's sort of an initial reaction of like, oh, fuck you, you're not telling me what I'm gonna think and do, but she also knows that like since the beginning she's been looking to Cantor for sort of the business savvy side of this, and they already made an agreement that they were gonna sell these things. So yeah, no, this is totally a moment of RC swallowing her pride because she's not going to like relax or calm but she doesn't say anything. I'm looking at the guy. I want him to leave with the impression that RC's opinion on this matter hasn't changed, and if were it heard to others, she would just freaking incinerate this thing with electroplasmic fire right now.
Yeah.
But
as of right now, I'd say you're leaving him with the impression that you have integrity, you're honest, you say what you really think, like that. That's you giving him that impression. For sure.
That is what I want, and also that Cantor is calling the shots for now.
Okay.
That this is Cantor's deal.
Cool. All right. So I've got one for Sway, the help from our little mini Scurlock, and then the Devil's Bargain gives me another one.
Yep.
Okay. Is there any way for me to get any more, just in case?
You can push for another one.
You didn't spend too stress yourself to push for this.
Right. Okay. I'm just no reason to go there yet. Okay, so I've got 3. Now for daring, if I roll a 1 to 3, which means if I don't get any die better than 3, I could normally try again with more risk, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but can you do that when you're already doing a desperate roll?
It can be super double ultra desperate.
Double ultra.
Yeah.
Usually the threat comes to pass, and then you get to go again.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, that is how it works. Whatever bad thing happens will happen, and then what you do after that is up to you. But yeah, your daring would give you a bonus die to whatever happens after that.
Cool.
I believe you,
Cantor. Dracula, let's do it.
Oh, so theoretically you should have gotten a bonus die on the last time when we escalated from controlled to risky, right? With no, we didn't get it.
I got a 4 on that.
Right, we got a 4. Okay, never mind.
All right, let's see how I do. Bam.
Ooh, good role playing.
Good at role playing as usual.
Cool. All right, so I got a 6.
Nice. So, on a desperate roll, you achieve great effect on a 6, not a normal effect, but there is still a cost because it's desperate. So you suffer harm or a complication occurs. I feel like this is a great time for harm, and I'll tell you what it's going to be. Looking at my new harm track here, if I can bring it up. Here we go. Where's the lurk? All right. So as you can see, there are like 9 harm states over on the left under stress.
Oh yeah.
They're in 3 rows of 3. Anytime one of those is marked, you get the effect at the end of the row. So if you're strained and shaken, you have -1 effect. If you're just strained, you have -1 effect. They don't stack, but they're just harder to heal, basically.
Got it.
So the first row sort of is about your effectiveness and it sort of levels of becoming weakened. The second row is sort of impairment, injuries, disabilities, which gives you a penalty to your dice. And the third row is like serious harm, where if you take one of those, in order to do something, you need someone else's assistance. You have to be helped. So I feel like this is a great time for you to be strained or shaken or something like that. Now you can roll to resist this harm. That's still a mechanic. I think I'm going to go for the slightly worse one. I'm going to say shaken, I think.
Okay.
I think standing up to Scurlock here and like just throwing your weight around with this legitimately like legendary criminal figure, Cantor totally does it, and you have a great effect. So there's some additional benefit from this move of yours, which we can talk about. But I feel like your adrenaline is just pumping, and it's just going to leave you completely shaken. Or not. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, or it might not. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm in. So what do I roll to resist being...
So you can resist. It's usually you use it, you lose it. So you rolled sway. So it's your resolve that you're resisting with here.
Okay.
So your resolve dice is the first column of dots under resolve there, which I think
I got 2.
That 2? Okay.
Yeah, cool. So my murdering helps me resist.
It totally does.
Yes, because I got murdered
totally looked into someone's eyes as the life went out of them, so...
That's right.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, cool. So I'm rolling 2 dice?
Yeah.
Okay. Survey says... Boom!
Boom! Good at role-playing.
Good at role-playing. Excellent.
So, to resist, it costs you 6 stress minus your highest dice.
Okay, so nada?
Nothing. So you are not shaken, in fact. You stand up to this guy.
What, Dracula? What?
Yeah.
What?
Or you could take 0 stress and be shaken. I mean, you could elect not to take 0 stress. And
No, no, it's fine.
Right.
I will take the 0 stress.
And Strasha said, you have great effect. So there's some additional benefit. Like, first of all, he's gonna honor this. Like, you sway him to the point of, like, okay, it's on Cantor. We're gonna make an arrangement. I'm gonna buy bodies from you. What I do with him is my business. If RC messes up this deal, it's on Cantor. And in addition,
I have an idea.
Yeah, go.
So I think that if we're doing business with this man, he's a level 3 dude. If he can give us a job, that's really good for us.
Oh yeah, that would be.
I feel like...
How you feeling about that?
I feel like that, or like just having him like boost our rep generally, like just spread the word like that we're a serious deal. Because if somebody else says that, like especially somebody as big as him, and like maybe we can go back to him later for a job, but like this is the job, right? He's already working with us. So yeah, go forth and spread my name into the kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could be that he might, like he's gonna make this deal with you to take this particular batch off your hands. And yeah, rep. So yeah, it could be either way. It's like a future job or rep right now. Do you guys have a preference on that?
Well, okay, so we want...
Like, I could give you 2 rep, maybe, for Scurlock's, like, casual endorsement when he talks to one of his buddies.
They have their, like, annual vampire hangout meeting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, because, like, okay, who...
He's a figure in the underworld, so he probably talks to other people we actually have to do business with.
Yeah, do business with, or who we're gonna fuck up later. So they're gonna be like, oh shit, those are those guys that King Shit Vampire said was so great.
Yeah.
Our reputation is ruthless.
That's right, it is.
Yeah, I think we should go for rep.
Because I want to finish the lampreys off, right? Eventually, I want to be like, yeah, we took your tattoo shop, and now we're gonna kill the rest of you and sell you to this guy.
To rock with.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that, just behind the scenes business here, I actually rolled for your reprisals to see how, if the lampreys were coming for revenge, if they were in a position to do it, and if the red sashes were in a position to reclaim their turf this week, because they're in a game war right now, and I made their rolls, their fortune rolls behind the scenes, and the answer to both of those was no.
Yeah,
so
that's right, suckers.
The dice are still loving you so far.
They're gonna press the advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's give you the 2 rep.
Nice.
I mean, it won't happen immediately, but we'll go ahead and record it so we don't forget. So that just so you know, 2 rep is kind of like it's the equivalent of you might get 2 rep from pulling a score. So you basically just got like a pretty good boost. It actually puts you at 4 hold total.
Sweet.
Oh, is rep the same as hold?
Yeah, your claims hold and your rep add together for your total hold.
I get it.
Yeah, I see. Yeah,
once you hit 4, which you're at now, you can do a thing to rise up a tier. So you're because of what Scurlock is going to say next time we play, whenever in 5 months or whatever, you'll be positioned to actually make a move on a new tier if you want to. So that's a big deal. Good job, Cantor. You really put yourself out there on that one, but it worked out.
Yeah.
So so to sort of wrap up the scene here, he listens to what you have to say, and he nods, and then he puts his cold, icy white hand out to shake your hand, Cantor. And I assume you do.
Oh yeah.
It's a firm. I mean, he's just definitely cold grip. But he doesn't like crush your hand or anything. It's just a firm shake, and he says, "Agreed. I'll take them off your hands. They're at the." And he like says where they are. He says, they're at the wherever. He knows the location. So, I'll collect them shortly, like basically tonight.
Sure. Okay.
And then, like, he finished shaking your hand, and then he puts his hand out to RC.
Yeah.
Like that you just acknowledge that, yes, he does that. Whatever you say, Gio.
All right. RC. Yeah, wow. RC's been not been happy, but RC has been satisfied to be silent in this going forward. I think she looks to Cantor and then sticks out her hand. Like looks to Cantor, like she like looks at him, but she knows what he's gonna be like. Come on, what the fuck? Why are you slowing this down? Like she just knows that he's gonna.
Don't fuck me on this.
Yeah, give her shit. So yeah, she shakes his hand.
All right. He doesn't fuck with you. He doesn't like pull you in and whisper something creepy, or he's not a dick about it. It's very short. He just like nods and shakes, and then shakes Oscar's hand right after, like it's totally normal.
Yeah.
And then like appears to take a step, and then is out in the hallway, and then is gone. And you hear the portcullis do all its business again, and he leaves.
Does he take the one that we have with us? Does it
Oh, sorry. I thought this earlier, and I didn't actually
say it. It's
all good. So he, before he leaves, he shakes Oscar's hand, and then over his shoulder, as he takes a step to the doorway, and over his shoulder he says, "Pick those up." And the thing reaches down and picks up the folds of flesh off the floor and like holds it in its hand, and he says, "Come with me," and it follows him out.
Nice.
Yeah, so he leads it away.
Cool. I assume at some point we negotiated like a price for that stuff during that conversation.
No, but
Okay.
it's implied that he'll send over his document or whatever, or his guy with the coin or whatever.
All right.
He's gonna make you some kind of great offer that is inconsequential to him, and
Sure. Rich guy money.
Yeah.
I'll take his pittance. That's fine.
He has no reason to quibble with you over whatever you think is a fair price.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. I mean, and yeah, that makes sense to Cantor too, because like someone with a bunch of money arguing over money, like the details, makes them look like they don't deserve that money, or like they came by it poorly, or they're still poor, but they ended up with a lot of money.
Exactly.
So I think I respect that we just didn't even talk about it. It's like, yeah,
and he just assumes that you're not gonna like cheat him or something. You're just gonna ask for a fair price, of course. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Nice.
So do we roll that monies now, or actually, as he like leaves and everything like settles for a split second, Oscar just like casually turns to RC and goes, "Oh yeah, your husband's looking for you."
Awesome, because RC was pretty like wound up like already, like she's really been trying to like hold in because she does not like this deal at all. And so like her knuckles were whitened, she's been like balling her fists, and she just like looks like confusion. What? I think it's a great like cut scene right there. If we want to like go to, because I feel like we did the score.
Yeah.
So if we want to like cut to developmental roles, stuff like that.
I totally agree. I think that's a great cut on Oscar's line there. That's awesome.
Yeah. Perfect.
Cool. Okay, so let's find out how much you get from this little bit of business.
Sweet.
So after you complete a score, you roll heat first. That's the first thing.
Okay. So we've got. Oh, I don't know. It's not fun then.
I think it's smooth and quiet. Like literally nothing bad went down.
Yeah, let me look at your old sheet. I don't know if you had any heat from before.
We did. We took one heat because of a roll, and we took one more heat as a doubles bargain when Cantor was getting the information.
Right. Okay. So you have 2 currently.
That's right, because that cop was asking, or that cop saw me in the central booking.
In the bar, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have 2 currently. We're gonna roll a number of heat dice based on the nature of the score. 1 die if it was smooth and quiet. 2 if it was under control, 3 if it was loud and chaotic, and 4 if it was wild. What do you guys think?
Smooth and quiet.
Yeah. I went an entire session without seeing or creating a dead body.
Yeah,
like half.
I don't know if you didn't see.
It's a new record.
They did.
The only reason I would say under control is that we did. Well, no one really freaked out about it. We did have a bunch of people that work for us see this go down, but we didn't ever have an exchange.
Yeah, they were dealing with all this shit way before we even knew about it, and they were just like, casually throwing them in the basement. So
yeah,
if anybody freaked out, it was your ass. So I think we're probably fine.
There is a certain benefit to hiring ex-Leviathan ship sailors. They're like,
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever.
Leviathan blood. It's bad stuff. Yeah, cool.
Problem now. Yeah, okay. I think one makes sense to me. There was no killing involved. So killing is worse than it used to be. It actually raises the result level of your roll. It doesn't give you a bonus die. It's kind of bad. You get.
I like how closely these heat levels track to like stars in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Like, if X, then this. If Y, like, well, good thing we didn't knock any helicopters out of the sky this time.
Yeah, that's right.
I do think we had a high-profile target. We are working with like Lord Scurlock himself. He's pretty big fucking shit. Unless
he wasn't the target though, right?
Right.
If we were trying to steal shit from him, or like.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, our target was like nobody's.
Basically, yeah, they were.
It's a victimless crime. That's what I've been saying since the beginning.
The 1 die it is. Who wants to roll it?
You haven't rolled in a while. Why don't you roll this, Josh?
Because I'm bad at this game. Hang on.
That's good. You want to be bad at this roll.
I want you to practice.
You did it last time because you're good at rolling low.
Bam!
Yeah.
Boom.
Under par.
As per the prophecy.
Yeah. You did it.
Nice. Okay, so you just take 1 heat from that whole crazy business of selling semi-dead people out of your basement.
Not quite dead, thanks.
Nicely done. Yeah, if you controlled the turf, which you will potentially in the future. Oh no, wait, no, you did take that turf.
Yeah, that was our turf.
Yeah. You did because you didn't hold it last time, but you do hold it
now. Yeah.
That is -1 level. You actually take 0 heat.
That's right.
Nice.
Totally on
Under the proverbial radar.
0 heat. That you just bask in the glory of that result.
John writes down, "Never let this bullshit happen again." Change rules.
Change rules. Add dice.
Yeah, so it's 12 heat now.
Yeah, minimum. Yeah, you're all in jail. So cool.
New thing I just made up. Nice. Okay. So if the score was a success, you roll development, which it was.
Yeah, we did. It was.
So you're gonna roll die for every tier you have, which is currently 0. And you're gonna roll +1 die for each level 3 faction status you have, which I think is 1.
The Dimmer sisters.
Yeah.
They helped. Thanks.
Yep. So you get +1 die for that. And if you had a turf upgrade for this, you would get it, but you don't currently hold one of those. Like Smuggler.
Our turf gives us +1 hold.
Yeah, there's some other claims that give you a bonus die to development, but you don't have those yet.
Right.
So it is. I think it's just one die for this right now.
Mm.
You want to roll high on this?
Volunteer, or shall I give this a rip again?
Oh, and before you roll, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's before or after, but just this is how it works now. So we set the default coin reward based on the nature of the score. So this is just like heat. We have to judge what the score was like. So it's worth 1 coin if it's a small job, nothing fancy. It's worth 2 coin if it's like standard crime work or decent loot. 3 coin if it's something special or a particularly fine haul. And 4 coin if it's a major score or serious wealth.
I feel like this is something special. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, I think so too. It feels like 3 to me.
Yeah. I'll roll it. Feeling lucky. Or not.
Or not.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm not lucky.
Not so good.
Yeah, that's so.
So
Should have had Adam roll this one.
It's okay. I can't make all the rolls.
it's up to you guys. You get the default, but you either suffer -1 rep or -1 coin.
My recommendation is coin because we definitely want to keep the rep for.
Yeah. There's no point in blowing the rep now.
For making the strike at level 1, so we can actually get decent dice to this roll. Yeah.
Well, I would just point out. Hold on. Our claim, our hold before this was 1, and our rep was 1, and but when we took that upgrade, it gave us +1 hold. So technically, our hold right now is 2, and our rep.
I already put the 1 hold in there because you were gonna pick something that.
Okay. Never mind. Then yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Then I agree. Let's take the -1 coin. So
Coin is fine.
2 coins.
Yeah. So you end up getting paid a nice amount from Scurlock, but like this few days of dealing with this instead of focusing on the drug trade, like you end up kind of losing a coin in the slush of business.
I feel like Cyclops just got a pay bump.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
You know, like there was some money to kind of keep this all on the DL, and to also keep them from not losing their shit when Lord Scurlock's minions came and picked up. I think this took a little to orchestrate.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay, and then we're gonna do an entanglement, which will set me up for next time. What's your current heat is 3? Is that right?
It's only 2.
Oh no, it's 2. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's actually the same in this case. Okay. So to roll an entanglement, you roll a d6 unless you have a particular ability that says otherwise. I don't think you guys do.
I don't think we do. That's a gang ability.
Yeah, it's a special thing.
Slippery.
Yeah, slippery. So somebody can roll that d6.
I got it.
All right.
If this isn't a 2, I'll be really surprised.
The usual suspects.
Cool.
The Bluecoats round up someone in the periphery of your crew during a routine sweep of lowlifes in the district. One player volunteers one of their friends as the person most likely to be taken. Roll the crew's morale to find out how well they resist spilling some info they shouldn't, or pay the Bluecoats off with 2 coin.
Yeah, what did I tell you about that keeping them from talking?
Yeah, so
address that shit.
that morale line is a bit of a typo, but it is a roll to resist. We'll get to that. So yeah, the Bluecoats have a reason to kind of sweep around the dock area and round up all the junkies and people who know them and other people who know someone, and take a quick look at your friends list and let's see if we can identify somebody who might be a likely candidate to be pulled into that.
I know Marlene is like down on the dock.
Oh geez, yeah, Marlene is right there.
And she was the one who helped at some point put this whole thing together. Like she helped me round up the thugs. So I think she's a likely candidate for being noticed by Bluecoats. Put it that way.
So before you decide if you want to pay him off, we're going to make a fortunes roll for Marlene, standing up to the law.
Yeah.
So we're going to rate Marlene's fortitude against interrogation on a scale from 0 to 4.
All you, Sean.
What's that?
Oh, all me. Strauss was saying all me.
Yeah. So this isn't super hardcore, go to the mats for you type situation, but it's you know, they're gonna sweat her for a day or two. Like, we know you know, just tell us what's going on, where are the drugs, who's selling them.
Yeah.
Don't make this hard on yourself. How tough is Marlene?
I think the combination of Marlene having a fuck the man attitude and also having a fuck RC attitude in the literal sense on the second one I think I'm going to put her at a 3. I think that she's resistant. She's not like specially trained to resist interrogation, but if she's not like in actual dire straits, she's not likely to sell us out.
Yeah, this is more of it's a big inconvenience for her. She misses a few fights and loses a little money or something like that.
Yeah.
They're not going to lock her up or anything over
it. She is my highlighted friend. So I think she's willing to sweat a little bit.
Yeah, I would say that's effectively like a bonus die. So like if her baseline is 3 and she's your lover, we could call it a 4. If her baseline's 2, then being a lover would make her a 3, I guess. So I mean, I'm feeling her being around a 3 for this kind of thing by just on her own. Like, if she didn't even know you, you'd probably be like, "Fuck you guys."
That's my sense. So
yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Let's give her a 4. I think that feels realistic to me.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome.
That's a lot of dice, but it reflects her as a person. So.
I like it. Also, I would love to get a roll higher than like a 2. So
hey, we would all love that for you, Sean.
Yeah. So I roll 4 and we see what happens.
So yeah, we're gonna see how she withstands their pressing. Does she talk?
Nice. Oh. She tells them to fuck the hell off.
Yeah, word.
She does not talk. Not only does she not talk, she when you talk to her later, she gives you the names and badge numbers of the guys that are looking into it.
Nice.
I'll tell you their names here. Let me find my name list. Here we go. It's two blue coats, Cinda and Rafe.
Is Cinda with a Y or an I?
With an I.
Cinda and Rafe.
Yep.
Okay, so they need to go take a drink in the water.
We have an expert with 2 counts of blood.
Oh no, Strauss, come back.
Strauss, you cut out.
Or I'm here, I think.
Robo Strauss.
Yeah, you're breaking up. Stay on target. No, you're gone. You're frozen.
Godspeed, Strauss. Godspeed.
Frozen in amber.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Better.
We can hear you. You're still a big pixely mess, but that's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, good job, Marlene. She doesn't rat out the crew. She's not going to become a problem in the future at this point. So, to Cantor's way of thinking, probably.
Yeah, no. But we do know 2 blue coats that need to be dissuaded.
Yes, you do.
And I think I have just the right brass knuckles to do such dissuasion.
We do also have an expert on murder.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do have.
Yeah, murdered blue coats with broken noses go and drink it off. Murdered blue coats make more blue coats show up.
Keep in mind that part of the reason we work with inspectors is because you all have inspectors in blue coats, so we're able to just either buy them off or misdirect them.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I just prefer breaking them.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out later. We'll have a conversation about this, RC.
Sure. Or not. Maybe we won't have a conversation.
Yeah, or not. We can have a conversation about it after you do it and no one approves it.
Right, I was gonna say, yeah, exactly.
All right, how about let's do XP, I think, and then, because we don't play super frequently, we should probably do it now. And then next time we play, we can do downtime and stuff and deal with vice and stress and everything.
Cool.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, so XP is the same as ever. let's start with whoever wants to start.
We can just do it from page 1 down. So like RC, you're first.
Okay. All right. Playbook advancement. Is that where we start?
Sure, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Address a challenge with violence or threats. I was definitely threatening to Cyclops, but the solution was Cantor like having RC back off, and I definitely did not threaten Scurlock, even though I sort of had my backup with him. So I think that was RC's posture, but the actual resolution, the solution was not a threat. It was backing down from that. So I don't know if that counts in intent or in effect. Because in effect, she did not actually, win something by threatening or doing violence.
Yeah. The word address is definitely intentional. Like it doesn't have to be overcome necessarily. Like if you feel like you addressed Cyclops by threatening him, then it would count. If you feel like you backed off from that and kind of didn't deal with it that way, then it wouldn't. It's kind of your judgment call on that, I think.
All right.
It's more of a question of like what RC is like. Like, did she sort of back away from it, or did she really go all in threatening, and then Cantor came in and sort of fixed it?
Yeah, I know. I think RC sort of demurred to Cantor, so I'm not going to take it. Like that was her posture, but he got her to back down. So against her nature. All right. Go into danger for your crew, or to show your dominance. I definitely think I went into danger for my crew in like not burning this shit down. Like I was very against all of this shit, and RC sucked up a lot of her own pride, but also a lot of her own like better judgment to do what would profit the crew.
I think you may have done that twice actually, by first like reporting it to them and talking about it instead of just dealing with it on your own.
On fire.
Yeah. And then not completely throwing a fit when the half demon was brought into the room you were in, and just letting that stand. That was a dangerous thing. So I would think that you might get 2 for that. Actually,
I will take. If you could score them twice, I will.
Yeah,
you can do that. Yeah. Express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I will admit I was completely gunning for that in the scene with Cantor.
Yeah,
and I think twice, because you're also talking about your heritage in the ways that you married into the family, and you were talking about crewing on the ship and stuff too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I was really feeling Darcy's background a lot in this session. I think that's.
Yeah, I appreciate not only it coming forth in mine, but also bringing Julian in. That was awesome. Because I wanted to address that somewhat. So thank you for
yeah, sure.
That as well. And cause a problem with your obsessions, secrets, or shortcomings.
You could have.
I could have. I easily could have by like telling Scurlock to fuck the hell off, but I did not. So I will not. I will not take that. And I also have not beaten up any blue coats, even though I very much intend to. I think RC is totally having an inferiority complex right now about not being able to do things the way she wants to do them. So she realizes she's out of her depths talking to Scurlock, but she's not at all out of her depths roughing up blue coats. So like that's where she's gonna be like, well, fine, fuck you. I can't tell Scurlock to go eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah, I love seeing that happen in games, less so in real life. But when people like feel out of their element, so they overcompensate to try to find something that's in their element to do.
Yeah.
They're like, well, fine, I don't know how to do any stuff. I'm just gonna go do this thing I do know how to do, and then you're just gonna be punch a cop. And it's like, please don't do that. Please.
Exactly.
Like, just adjust to your new job. Thank you.
Yeah, displacement and misplaced aggression.
Yep. So that will be for next time.
Cool.
Good.
And that's that. Is there another checklist that you check?
Yeah, we're gonna give you XP for your action categories, your attributes. We'll say which one of those we feel like you are using the most: finesse, insight, resolve, or vigor. And then you get to choose one for your personal kind of training time as well.
Cool.
I'm thinking this was a I don't know. What do you guys think?
Resolve.
Yeah, because
I
there
think
was
resolve too.
yeah.
My discussion is twofold. The first one is that you approach problems with command, which falls under resolve, but the phrase resolve indicates willpower and control
That's
yourself.
exactly what I was gonna say. Is because there's no straight up willpower. It's like you're resisting doing things and like trying to like hold back, and that feels like resolve for sure.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so take a tick in that, and then you can put another tick wherever you want, wherever.
I'm gonna put a second tick in resolve.
All right.
Cool.
And then I had no desperate rolls, so nothing in there. And I think that's all, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
All right, Cantor Haig.
Alrighty. I did not address a challenge with athletics or infiltration.
No.
It's not really
lucky.
my style so much right now. I'm neither infiltrated nor athleticized. Go into danger for your crew or to remain hidden or unknown.
Oh, you totally did that. No, you
definitely when you talk to Scurlock.
Yeah, not the hiding or unknown, but the going into danger for the crew part for sure.
Absolutely. You when Scurlock was like clearly questioning whether we were somebody he could do business with, you stepped up. Absolutely.
I play player characters in role-playing games who know that they are player characters, and I am not afraid of any NPC bullshit.
Yeah. They don't even have hit points. I mean, come on.
That's right, exactly. I got hit points. I don't know. You're nothing. You're an NPC. And then express my beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Yeah, I mean, all I was doing was talking about how I didn't want to be poor anymore, and we needed money, and like.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I think you should get 2 for that. I think that was your beliefs were just all over the session, constant.
Yep. I think our beliefs played off each other really well because they weren't like neither one of us disagreed with the other one. We just came from very different perspectives. Like I don't want to be broke, and you don't want to be like swimming in demon blood. But we definitely have different priorities.
Sure, yeah. I'll accept more demon blood in exchange for money, and you'll accept more poverty in exchange for less demon blood.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
The classic compromise.
Yeah. And then did I cause a problem with my obsessions, secrets, or shortcomings? I mean, I don't know, it didn't end up being a problem, but it could have been. The whole, like, hey, we could turn this toxic waste into money.
I think your obsession with money got you into business with Lord Scurlock selling half-demon bodies, and I think that's a problem.
Yeah.
So...
Okay.
Also, you specifically, when RC was really clear that she wanted this to be a one-time deal, you specifically said, Scurlock, like, yeah, we'll give you, you can have these and any more that appear. Like you totally went against.
What I told you. Yeah.
Right. So it's not like RC can be like, wait, no, this was a one-time. Like that's blown out the window. So now it's whenever we have more debt.
Well, and it's such a great position because what are you gonna do about it now? Like we can't call off the deal. I already made the deal. It's too late.
Right. Well, yeah. We can try and keep our people from dying by refining it. So we do have an avenue.
Right.
It's not
we can trickle it off, but we're not gonna just be like, nope, no more zombies for you. Sorry.
Well, yeah, we're not gonna stop dealing. So.
All right. So and then I get 1 for the desperate roll, right?
Yep.
Yeah. In the little desperate roll.
There's a little desperate roll tracker.
Yep. Yeah, 1 on my desperate roll tracker. Cool.
And then I am feeling resolve with Cantor too. I think.
Me too. I think Cantor was. I think we were button heads all around, and people were standing their ground, and Cantor the most of all.
Yep.
Not that I'm needed as a tiebreaker, but I concur.
And then I get 1 more for like anything. Yep. And it doesn't necessarily have to be fictionally related to like what happened. No. Okay.
It's kind of what Cantor is doing on his own time, or thinking about, or training, or whatever.
And does it have to be something different, or can I just put another one in resolve?
Yeah, you can put another one in resolve. That's fine.
Because my 2 favorite skills are in resolve. All right.
Yeah. Murder and Sway.
Yeah. Murder and Sway is actually the name of my first album. So.
Is that one of Fine Thug's first albums?
Yeah, I was going to say, is that Fine Thug?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Oscar Scurlock.
All right, let's take a look here. Address a challenge with arcane power or knowledge.
Yep.
Twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Twice. Once when you were sort of sussing out what happened and Julian, and once when you were commanding the demonic, the not quite dead. That's what I'm naming this episode, by the way. When I write my report, is not quite dead.
Next, go into danger for your crew or for arcane knowledge or power. I think I did that twice as well.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely did it when you were like exposing yourself to potentially. Although what you were putting at risk was RC being found, but whatever.
Put somebody else.
Although that's true, I was going to be the one being caught. But the second time when I dove into like the connection with the demon was the other one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. So I brought my family into this, and I also there was that moment where I decided to actually side with the group over my own personal goals. So
yeah,
I don't know what you guys
thought that was really important early in the session when you decided not to just get Satara's favor, and that changed the whole course of the score completely.
Yep. I agree.
All right, so then looks like I'm gonna bump in a. Actually, this is a question I've been meaning to ask you, John. If you fill up, do you just bump over? Like, does it just roll over?
Oh yeah. You get an advance, and then you can keep getting XP. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if I got this last one, but I'm still good. And the question here is, do I cause a problem with my obsession, secrets, or shortcomings?
I think it's really a question of like, does inter-party friction constitute a problem? Because if that's the case, then pretty much actually all of us should mark that we did. Because Cantor pissed off RC by like making this deal for unlimited undead. Oscar pissed off RC by bringing this thing like into the room with them and contaminated it. And RC like nearly soured the deal for everyone by bristling so much. So I think it really depends on like, are these just like potential infighting problems, or is this like external issues that we're going to have to deal with? Because none of those internal issues are really necessarily going to need a resolution. They're just kind of ways that we prickled one another. But
yeah, so that's how you answer that question. If it's not a problem, then it isn't a problem.
Okay.
If it is a problem, then you mark the XP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say none of the things we did constitute a problem because none of us are willing to take action to remedy, to do.
It was just friction between you, but it's not like we have to deal with this now. It's not like that. It's
right.
Yeah. If it rises to the level of we got to talk, we can't go forward until we address this, then yeah, it's definitely a problem.
Yeah, I briefly considered RC being like, if he's in, I'm out. Like, I'm not being in the room with this thing. But, she had just been down in the basement with him, and it's not like it made that much sense to be that paranoid about it. But I think it could have gone that far if it was like, we walk in and there's a whole goddamn demon army being constructed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's to be a little meta about it. That's a little bit about what this game is about too. You kind of play to find out if the character you've made stays in the crew, even like that. That's a thing that could happen. It can go to that point where you're like, this isn't what I signed up for. I'm gonna play somebody else.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
Yeah. Like I could totally see RC being, if someone was the weak link or someone was gonna drop out, she could easily be the one that gets put over the edge. But so far, it's good. We're making money. It's worth it.
All right. So for attribute, what are we thinking for Oscar? I think insight was definitely important, but so was resolve. So
I think insight.
I felt like insight was
my
vote. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, you were definitely doing a lot of Atuni business, but
if this were Apocalypse World, you would be the brainer whose weird never gets highlighted.
Not a problem, because I know what I'm training in my spare time.
Yeah, no, I just in the spirit of the word insight, like I feel like what Oscar was doing was making a lot of discoveries in this. I mean, discovering that these things were demon enough to animate, discovering what was going on with, like Oscar didn't make the deals. He was really the one figuring out all this crazy shit.
Cool.
I'll take it. Awesome.
All right. And then the crew XP is the final step.
Yep. So, acquire product, attract customers, or covertly sell your contraband.
Check.
Yeah. Say, we did that.
Yeah, I think that's check. Yeah, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got both of them.
Improve your product's quality, variety, or prestige.
Yes.
Well, is that done? Do we say
Variety.
that Quellen has stepped up to distill now?
Considering that we took it as an advance and she's written in, I'm going to say yes. So actually I'm going to say check because quality has improved with Quellen now and variety has improved
overall.
with bodies.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's two. I agree. Yeah. The new quality product isn't on the streets yet, but you have actually gotten it. Like Quellen's gonna have it ready next time. So yeah.
Seize a claim for your crew's turf. We specifically did not find a place.
Yeah,
you guys
we stepped back on that one.
So I kind of want to roll. I want to give you that tick because you didn't get it last time. That's a new mechanic where you get a tick per step along that chain. Okay. So like the higher level claims are worth a lot of XP, but you should take one for that.
Okay. We'll do that. And contend with a challenge above your current station.
Yeah.
Scurlock is level 3.
I was gonna say Scurlock is a big fucking deal, and so that's an advance right there.
Nice. Cool. All right. Cool.
Yeah, we getting up in the world.
An advance, a potential tier raise.
How does that work now? An advance on the guild.
How does it work?
Yeah, like what do we get for that?
Oh yeah.
Do we still get coin? What's up?
Yeah, so you guys, everybody gets 1 coin plus your tier right now. Personally, your personal coin number goes up by 1 plus your tier, which is 0 right now, but
yeah,
so you get 1. And then, so that's like your payout. When the crew does super well, you look at your money and you're like, hey, everybody can take a cut. We have extra surplus. It's the old Sid Meier's Pirates. Time to split the loot and reassess the team thing. And then you get an advancement, so either a special ability or an upgrade from the sheet.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm digging upgrades. I don't know if you guys are interested in it, but going for either vault storage or a workshop sounds good, or starting on expertise because hot diggity do I want that 3rd die.
Yeah, we're not really, like, expertise is for us, or is that for, that's what allows us to get up to 3 dice in something? Okay.
Yeah, I think we should do that. Because we're outsourcing our workshop duties right now. Right. But once we start looking into actually doing magic and stuff on our own, then we can talk about buying you a workshop.
Rockin'.
So one of the 2 needed expertise upgrades.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
You really want that 3 in a tune?
Well, I'm not gonna be able to stay at Murder 2 forever. I need my 3rd dot in Murder. Murder dice.
3 count, strike 3.
That's right.
Murder
3 counts on Murder 1.
All right.
I've got the death sentence in 12 systems.
12 districts at least.
Right.
Nice. Well, we have the 6 Towers gang has fucking made a name for itself.
Yeah. Tonight was a big big deal.
Yeah.
Way to crime effectively, everybody. Good criming.
Good criming. Yeah.
Crime it up.
Criminy.
Yeah. No shit. The way to take that problem and make it a resource.
Sure, man. It's not a problem. It's an opportunity.
Yeah. So we have one more coin than we can hold, but I think we're going to spend it when we do development rolls. So
yeah, when we do downtime, you'll probably dump it into something there.
Yeah,
so.
and I think if I remember correctly, like we can't hold more than 4 coin, but we that's after the development roll, so we can make the development roll to below that extra one.
Yeah, and you're always allowed to give it to somebody too. You can be like, hey, just put this in your own personal stash or whatever.
Got it. Okay.
That's fine too. Yeah.
Cool.
Hang on to it. I suspect that I'm going to be using coin to boost because I'm only working on long-term projects, and it's probably going to be inks.
Cool. Yeah, no, that sounds like a really good next step.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think we need a development role to find an artist too. So that's us. Well, I was gonna go consortium, if that is.
Reduce some heat.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Whatever. We can deal with the heat.
This is the one who wants to go cop punching.
Exactly. I might add some heat.
You got to get it up to 5 stars so you can steal a tank. I mean, that's like the main.
Yeah, right. So the tanks are coming out.
The main move.
Right.
Running around on Leviathan.
The only way to get your wanted level up high is to.
I mean, yes, to kill the cops. So
To kill the cops.
Fine, you made your point using our own analogy against us. Good work. Cool. Well, this was a blast.
Yeah, thanks for playing, you guys. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you, John. That was good times.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was fun to see off the back of one Fortune's roll to see how the drug was going over. That basically the answer was badly.
But, well, it's funny because like our entire adventure scenario for the night was the result of that. It was like we had other plans in mind, but clearly this took precedence.
Yeah, and at first I was like, oh, this is going to be kind of a bummer for them because they're going to have to deal with all this headache and not get anything from it. And then Adam's like, this is a job.
Yeah.
This is our score.
That's right.
Yeah, that was great.
Life gives you lemons, man. You make drugs out of those lemons.
I actually have,
lemon crack.
I just have one more question here. Since we did a job, and there's this awesome factions sheet, would you say that we go up with Scurlock?
Yeah, that's a question for us to consider together. So.
Well, we got temporary rep from him, right? Like we haven't really done a job. We've just kind of like
for him. Yeah.
I think it's a thing we could pursue pretty easily, but.
Is that an action now? I don't remember. I know that previously in like the QS2, you would gain an up and a down if applicable. I didn't know if that was still a thing or.
That is still a thing. Yeah, if we feel like you raised your status with someone, we can bump it up, and if you've wrecked your status with someone, we can bump it down.
Yeah.
Or you can do a job specifically to target status, and that's a different thing. But it's an edge case to me. Like, if you were at 0, I could see going to 1 for sure. Is this is what happened here taking you to level 2 out of 3 with Scurlock?
Right. Yeah. I mean, what were we at 1 before?
Yeah.
Yeah. You already have.
No. This doesn't feel like a leap from 1 to 2.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. I definitely feel like it's now reasonable for us to feel like, hey, this trafficking goes both ways. If you need us to unload something for you, we can do it.
Yeah,
and
we're occupying a space in which we could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, in the same vein, I don't think your status dropped with anybody. You didn't really tangle with another crew tonight. I mean, the things that happened last time are still kind of in the background, but
percolating. Yeah.
It hasn't gotten worse.
Well, it sounds like we have lots of exciting stuff for next time, whenever next time.
Yeah.
Plenty of material.
Realistically speaking, do you guys want to try and do it next time? I know that schedule-wise, it's not trivial.
I feel like because we're recording them and because we can't really forget what happened, we can have time between them. So I'd like to play again, but I mean, God knows when that'll be. So
yeah, I'm sure we can work it out. And when you're watching this on YouTube 5 years from now, you won't even notice. You'll just watch the next video.
You'll just see them as all one continuous thing.
Yeah. Brilliant. Cool. Well.
All right.
Thanks for playing Blades with me. That was
that was great.
Cool.
Well, I am stopping the recording now.
All right. Well, we'll see you.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Next time.
Yeah.
Thanks all.
Bye.
Good night.